Sorry? Oh, I'm making a scene. No, because you know what? I just thought, how long does it take you to clock your surroundings? Like, how long does it take you to clock your surroundings?
I mean, let's not do this because I'm going to say something.
Marks never change. You are just a unicorn, honestly. Morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, the 10th of October. Welcome to TDA the day after, your favorite news platform and the home of popular culture as defined by the culture. And let's get to know our host for today.
It's your boy, 6 foot plus of pure temptation. Big Marsh from the east side of the bridge. Good morning, people.
I am your favorite shade queen, Martin Royalty.
And they call me E-Man, the pro-black activist, TDA producer and news analyst, melanin jam-packed.
How's everybody this morning?
Good, man. Good.
Yeah? Brent, you good?
I'm good. Let's go, baby.
I'm not sure I can hear you in the mic, you know.
Okay, maybe it's not on.
They would have heard him.
Can you hear that?
The rest of the mics.
1 2 1 2.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, let's get into our first segment then. So, Black History Month, who is it about today?
The mighty nation of Zimbabwe.
Big up Zimbabwe.
Yeah, man. Big up Zimbabwe. Obviously, they've had a tough few years. But they are a great nation. And, you know what? They were the last African country to gain independence from British colonial rule.
Oh, wow.
Yes, that happened in 1980, 18th of April, 1980. So, like 20 years before that, that's when Nigeria got their independence. So yeah, it was a long struggle for independence, man. But obviously they got there in the end. It's a landlocked country as well. It has the most official languages in the world.
How many is that?
All right, so I'm glad you asked that. Because it's not like they have the most languages in the world. It's just the ones they call official.
So right.
So, in fact, let me get it for you. Obviously, they got... All right, so they got 16 official languages. 16. Yeah, they hold the Guinness World Record for the country with the most official languages. They got bare. There's so many that I can mention. But, yeah, that's what they got.
Okay.
They're also a multi-currency country. So, obviously... I think we kind of touched on this. We probably mentioned it like in passing, right? But they had massive inflation hit their country in it, especially since 2008. This was one of the things that kind of got people disillusioned with Mugabe, and wanting to get him out of there, this and the third. But obviously, it stemmed from the British. It was them reneging on their agreement with Zimbabwe, similar to how they get involved with, how they were involved with Israel-Palestine. They always get involved with stuff and then they step back. But anyway. So, like I said, they're a multi-currency nation. And basically, to combat the inflation back then, Zimbabwe abandoned their own currency, which was the Zimbabwean dollar. And they started using other currencies. So they were using the US dollar, the South African rand, the euro, the Botswana pula. So basically, theoretically, what you could do is buy something in US dollars, right? You can buy something that's priced in US dollars with South African rand and then get your change in euros. Yeah, basically. Theoretically, you could. Because, they had everything, pretty much. Because the Zimbabwean dollar was a useless currency, pretty much. Also, Zimbabwe has 5 UNESCO World Heritage Sites. 5 of them, right? So 3 of them are cultural sites. The Kanye Ruins. They've got the Great Zimbabwe National Monument. And they've got Matobo Hills. And their natural sites, they've got Victoria Falls and Mana Pools. Right, so yeah, the Great Zimbabwe National Monument though. This is one of the you've probably seen it on one of those documentaries. And when they talk about some of these crazy feats that human beings have done from back in the day, the Great Zimbabwe National Monument. That's one of those, right? Basically, what they're saying is, according to legend, that was where the Queen of Sheba also resided, right? Also, it was the ancestral home for the Shona people between 1100 AD and 1450 AD. And it's the largest ruins in sub-Saharan Africa. Yeah. Zimbabwe is also home to one of the world's biggest waterfalls. Like I mentioned, it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and that's Victoria Falls.
Rebecca said that belongs to Zambia.
What does?
Is that accurate?
What does?
Victoria Falls.
No, I think it's there as well. It's not just one country. Like just like certain mountains that go across. Yeah. Zimbabwe has the largest man-made lake in the world as well, Lake Kariba. So basically, you'd find it some 1,300 kilometers upstream from the Indian Ocean, and it's along the border between Zambia and Zimbabwe. And last thing I wanted to mention is their flag. So like every flag pretty much in Africa, but pretty much the whole world, right? But in Africa especially, this flag has a lot of meaning. So I'm not too sure if Brent's got a flag up there, but the Zimbabwe flag, it was raised on it was raised the first time at midnight on the 18th of April, 1980, to mark independence. And the green stripe represents vegetation and agriculture. The gold color in the flag represents the country's mineral wealth. The red stripe represents the blood that was shed during the War of Liberation. And the black represents the black majority. I like that.
Know that for them.
Yeah, man. The white triangle represents peace. And the red star...
all in this one flag?
Yeah. And the red star represents the nation's aspirations. And the golden bird...
Okay.
Do you know why all their flags got yellow and red and green in them? There were so many African flags when they took their independence and made their own flags and shit.
I was thinking about the red, because the red is always the blood shed in it.
Yeah,
but
it's all
Nigeria
the
didn't
same
think
reasons.
there was blood to be shed. I mean, blood is still being shed, I guess. So.
What's the Garvey flag, isn't it? They took
Oh,
a lot of
yeah,
inspiration
yeah.
from
RBG.
Pan-African too.
Yeah.
That's great.
We're learning.
Yeah, man. And the last thing on that flag is the golden bird, which is the great Zimbabwe bird. And that's the national symbol of Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe got some
Busy
clean
flag.
things as well.
Okay.
Thank you for adding that to the history.
Nah, then couple decent Zim Johns out there, you know.
Dear.
Just wanted to mention a few of their foods there quickly. They got something called sadza.
Oh, I've heard of Sata.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know I have a couple Zimbabwean friends. It's a proper, that's their thing.
Yeah. I think that's the main thing.
That's their jollof rice, basically.
But yeah, like
What was it, rice?
No, it's not. It's like a solid thing.
Yeah.
Like how you have like pounded jam, eba, that is that kind of that. That
Or was it a
type of
yam?
vibe.
It's like, well, it says here it's a thick porridge made of very fine cornmeal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah.
It's like
This is why the gal
But I
are
think
so
it's solid-
thick,
it's
because
solid.
you are just consuming
thick food, solid food.
solidness all day.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
It does. But if you're not careful, that Auntie Betty will sneak up on you, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for
but as long
real.
as the back's bigger than the front, then balance.
Yeah, I hear that's true. I do think that.
But yeah, as you can see on the screen, well, it wasn't on the screen. It's less like swallow food, pretty
Yeah,
much. innit?
basically.
They've also got something called I think it's called mopane worms or mopane worms, and basically they're a delicacy that's eaten across Africa, by the way. But tourists, obviously, you know, they go there and start acting as though these people are savages. But whatever. Long story short, the worms are actually a particular species of caterpillar.
That's grubs.
He's people. He's tourists.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, they're a particular species of caterpillar which are harvested during the rainy season, and they're dried, and you can enjoy them throughout the year.
Enjoy it.
Yeah, they taste good, man.
Have you had
Have
one?
you tried
No,
it?
no, I've never. Had. But I know the people aren't stupid, so it must taste good. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'd try that.
It's full of protein. It's full of
I'm
protein.
sure you would.
I would.
I'm sure you would.
I don't know if it needs to look like this.
So what does it need
That's
to look
how
like?
it looks, bro.
What does it need to look like?
That's how it
Once
is.
it's cooked up nice,
Mm.
I think I could devour that.
Okay.
Do you think when it's cooked up now it's gonna look any different to what it looks like on the screen?
Mm.
It's just gonna be deep fried.
Yes. Also got something called nyama, and that's like a traditional beef stew that you find like served at certain celebrations. So Christmas, birthdays, weddings, all of that. They got it. So basically they fry the beef with garlic, they add water, and then, yeah, man. Sometimes they add in certain curry powders, onions, tomato, carrots, green peas. So yeah. What happened? Also.
Valerie's trying to make a point, trying to protect the worm, talking about it's like the flies Nigerians eat. I'm like, what are we doing here?
Nigerians they eat flies.
What
I don't
flies
know.
do we eat? Where
That
did
says
you-
flies.
Who said that?
I'm sure that says flies. I don't want insects
Who said
anywhere.
It needs to be timed out. Spreading false
Is that
information.
is that fake news, Val?
Of course, it's fake news. We don't eat flipping.
Is there?
Wale.
I don't know. Is there a section of your community that eat flies?
No, anybody eating flies, man.
No, we don't eat flies.
Flies are a nuisance. We kill them.
Don't say we.
We.
I'm speaking for the Yoruba community.
All right, good.
It's all right then.
I'm being stubborn today. I'm speaking for everybody. Do you know how much bacon is flying about the place when we're trying to kill mosquitoes? Where do you think people can find time to collect the flies to eat them? Anyway, dog.
Yeah, I went with that.
They do that.
before.
Dog.
Yeah, but that's the same people though.
Okay.
That's the same people.
Not refuting nothing there to
It's not our
refute.
people. That's why.
Yoruba people.
You think it was my people? I would have said that on this Britain land. Britain would have got me out of here. Hell no.
And there are some notable people, man. Of course, first and foremost, must go to the great Robert Mugabe. Yes, I said great.
No, the one that was there. Anyway.
Yes, that helped them during independence. Yes.
And did not want to leave the throne until he died. Crazy.
It wasn't his fault, to be fair. It wasn't
His
entirely.
legacy
It
was
wasn't
stuck there.
entirely his fault anyway. But Derek Chisora, yeah, boxer. For those who know, yeah, he's Zimbabwean. Purcell Ascot. Coincidentally, our guest today.
Oh, would you look at that?
Yes, so big up Purcell. Thandi Newton,
Oh yes, I love Kanye. You forgot.
Danai Gurira. So you know,
He made that video, innit?
Yeah. I was gonna bring it up before I said we're celebrating them today, so we don't do that. If you know, they know. The streets remember. So silly for that. Embarrassing.
you know the lady, the bald lady in Black Panther.
Yeah.
Okoyo,
Oh yeah.
Zimbabwe.
Pick up her.
Yeah,
Which
man.
one? They're all bald. The Domalage?
The main bald one.
That's the word.
Okay.
Remember she had the Queen's assistant or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Her right hand girl.
The serious one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is she the one that got banished in the second one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought that was deep, man.
Michonne.
I don't know.
Is that her real name?
Hmm?
Is that her real name or a character she's played elsewhere?
In Walking Dead.
Yes, she know.
Don't watch that.
I
With the
never seen
dreads?
Walking Dead. I don't know.
It's Michonne.
Okay,
Well,
we'll
you seen
go.
Walking Dead, isn't it?
Oh, boom.
What?
She is.
Yes,
Michonne.
of course she is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course she is. Of course.
Come on, bro.
Yeah, man. Of course.
Yeah, man. Zimbabwe. Oliver Tukudzi, probably known as Tuku. He was a legendary musician, a businessman, philanthropist, a human rights activist, and a UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador for the Southern African region.
Nice.
Big him up, man. And last person I want to mention is Strive Masiyiwa. And he's ranked 8th richest man in Africa. He's got a net worth of $2.3 billion. So yeah, man.
In Keith thingy.
Very own Keith, innit?
I was gonna say.
Oh, pardon me. Big up
The
Keith, of
first male
course.
in the UK to get signed by Spotify. You better
100%.
put him in the list.
You know what I'm saying? Big up Keith.
Okay.
Yeah, man. A lot of great Zimbabweans.
Not Michonne, it's Makosi. Is it Makosi or Michonne? What am I calling that? It's Makosi, isn't it? What is that? Why did I just see that name and that made me say it different?
Makosi, Big Brother.
Michonne, why is I seeing that? What's her name, Brent? Who's Makosi in Big Brother?
The one that had the big afro.
Oh, yeah, that is. No, is
No?
it? I've mixed up names and now I need to get it right. Sorry, people, because I've confused myself.
Sean from The Walking Dead. Danai Gurira.
Was that her real name?
Their real name is Danai Gurira.
Chikisa Gurira.
So that is Michonne.
Yes,
so who the hell's
Michonne.
Makosi?
Makosi's
From Big Brother. Back in the day. Dark skin,
This is Danai.
big afro.
Okay, yeah, so I was right. That's Michonne. Let me see who Makosi is, please. That name just threw me off.
Good brother.
Oh. She was a character.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. She was a character. Yes. It's all coming back to me now.
That scene, yeah?
Yeah. that will do it.
What that be?
All right, sorry, that's all cleared up.
Oh, finished.
But yes, that's it, man, for Zimbabwe. Big up Zimbabwe, man.
Okay, good luck, Zimbabwe. All right, let's get into our headlines.
All right, guys. So our headlines, just to be upfront, a lot of our headlines are going to be to do with the Israel-Palestine conflict. And the first one is about Rishi Sunak, who attended a vigil for Israeli victims at a synagogue in North London.
Vigil.
Yes.
Oh.
He's now, well, at the time, he was addressing people at the service, telling them that he stands with them in solidarity. In his words, he said, in Israel's hour of need. He said also, to a round of applause, that as the Prime Minister of this country, I am unequivocal. The people who support Hamas are fully responsible for this appalling attack. They are not militants, they are not freedom fighters, they are terrorists. He says they have committed acts of evil and that there's no other way to describe it. He also said there are not two sides to these events. There's no question of balance. I stand with Israel. The United Kingdom stands with Israel. The PM also hit out at those who said vile words in our streets. He said, I say not here, not in Britain, not in our country, not in this century. He promised the Jewish community that he will stop at nothing to keep them safe. The PM says, the worst of humanity has been seen over the past few days. But in words of reassurance to the gathered community, he said, the hope of Israel is built on the very best of humanity. In the words of the Hatikva, which is Israel's national anthem, that hope is not lost, even in these darkest days, perhaps especially in these darkest days. He also went on to say, I stand with you, the British Jewish community, not just today, not just tomorrow, but always. And then he concluded with the phrase, Am Yisrael Chai, which means the Jewish nation lives. By the way, I was minding my business, watching TV yesterday. And in the advert on YouTube, I was like, what the hell is this? There's a State of Israel advert. I'm not doing this any justice. But basically, it seemed very out of place.
I see Sarah talking about that. She said that if anybody's seen it, wait till you see it. It might shock you.
What is it?
Who's that?
Huh?
Who's Sarah?
Sarah Ready from the chat.
Big up Sarah.
Yeah. Was it like a black type of screen, Sarah?
I haven't seen it. Well, I haven't seen it. I just said tweet something. Like it was saying like...
She's not in the chat right now, man.
Oh, sorry.
Just, yeah, recording.
What did you see
Okay.
there?
Okay. But basically, it was an advert, right? It came out of the blue. And it was talking about, what was it, man? It was very pro-Israel. Very pro-Israel. And at the end, I was like, wait, what's going on there? At the end of it, it was like a message from the State of Israel. So at the end, it said something like, again, I don't want to paraphrase too much here, but basically along the lines of, these people are terrorists, Israel must continue, the struggle continues, we will not die. That sort of narrative, innit? I am kind of putting my own words on this, but because I can't remember. But and at the very end of it, it was like basically this message is from the State of Israel. It was very, you know what I'm saying? I was thinking,
Also, they were calling people home.
calling people what?
Calling people, not recruiting, calling back the reserves. It's like we need you.
Now I feel like it's more like they're trying to get everyone on their side. Like, be empathetic about our situation.
But more
it's
than
like
that,
we
it was
are
more
Israel.
forceful,
We're the Israeli government and we approve this message type of vibe.
basically.
But the PR has been a lot, because when I'm looking at like articles and whatever it is, I'm now so basically I feel like with the news here, when things start happening, there's certain bits, it's like a whole rollout, right? We're now currently at the stage where you see the mother holding two babies and the baby's been ripped out of her arms, and that was actually the headline. Like an Israeli mother crying, distraught, as the babies are ripped out of her hands by Palestinian soldiers, something like that. I said,
To be honest, both sides do that, you know.
what? Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
But I just think it's just, for me, it's interesting being here, seeing how much this is all the news is. Like, and it's crazy because the fact that they're going this hard makes me suspicious. Do you get what I mean? The fact that the government is going this hard, now we've got Rishi Sunak. Isn't he like Buddhist or something? Or Hindu or something like that?
Hindu.
And now he's speaking, what's he speaking now?
Yeah, he's speaking for the Israelites.
No, I mean
Sorry,
he
for
spoke the
Israelis.
he spoke the language. Yeah.
This nation obviously is friends with
Yeah,
Israel.
they're pro
Yeah.
So he has to do that.
Of course. But all of that stuff makes me feel suspicious anyway, personally.
It's funny you say that, Brent, that he has to do that, yeah,
Yes.
because of the second headline, right? So the second headline is from about the Scottish First Minister, Yousaf, right?
Oh yeah, they got Nicola out of here, didn't they?
Yes, they did, yeah.
Oh.
She's, yeah.
Free my girl.
All right, so basically, yeah, it all makes sense when I read the headline. So Scotland's First Minister has said that his parents-in-law are trapped in Gaza and he's fearful whether they will make it through the night or not. So for those who don't know, his wife is Palestinian.
Oh, that's awkward.
Yes. But the reason why I mention that, Brent, is because he's still saying pro-Israel.
With wife in the house?
Yes.
What's his wife
Yeah.
saying?
I don't know.
They don't get the first lady to do speeches too.
Maybe
That dare you to go on there.
Not the Scottish one. Sorry.
That's so cheeky.
But yeah, man.
It's definitely work.
It's crazy. The conflict must be mad.
But that's the thing though, it's what Brent said. They have to do that.
This is it.
So in his house, he's consoling his wife, trying to send out private jets and whatnot to get her family over. But then when he goes on public stage on the podium, he's saying, oh,
Precisely.
that's crazy, man.
It's sad, man. So the parents of Hamza Yousaf's wife, Nadia El Nakla, were in Gaza visiting family when Hamas launched a surprise attack on Israel at the weekend, killing hundreds according to reports. Speaking to journalists on Monday, Mr. Yousaf said, as many will know, my wife is Palestinian. Her mum and dad, my in-laws who live in Dundee, live in Scotland. They've been in Gaza and are currently trapped in Gaza, I'm afraid. The trapped couple went to visit their 93-year-old mother, the mother of Mr. Yousaf's father-in-law, when the Hamas attack took place. They've since been told by Israeli authorities to leave because Gaza will effectively be obliterated. This is his words, you know. Right? Mr. Yousaf, who issued an unequivocal condemnation of the Hamas assault, said, despite the best efforts of the British Foreign Office, nobody can guarantee them safe passage anywhere. So I'm in a situation where, frankly, night by night, day by day, we don't know whether or not my mother-in-law and father-in-law, who have nothing to do, as most Gazans don't, with Hamas or with any terror attack, whether they will make it through the night or not. The First Minister said both he and his wife cannot sleep due to the worry for her parents. He said, we cannot sleep, we're constantly watching our phones. When our messages do get through, we're waiting for a reply. He also added, I'm worried about my family. There'll be many people, including in Scotland's Jewish community, for example, who will be very worried about their family in Israel that have come to harm. My thoughts go out to everybody because innocent civilians have nothing to do with the conflict. They have nothing to do with Hamas's terror, have nothing to do with the loss of life, and they're the ones often, innocent people, who are paying the price.
And that's facts, man. On both sides, it's out of order, man.
Yes, it is.
And 4 kids and all sorts. It's just horrible.
Very sad. But the last headline, Luciana Berger, who's the former Jewish Labour MP for Liverpool Wavertree, she said, well, she's encouraging people to watch the videos of the brutal treatment of Israelis by Hamas. Why?
How do they want to do that?
Well, speaking to Politics Hub with Sophie Ridge, she says there are so many things that have been put out on social media by the Hamas terrorists, the perpetrators of these horrific acts, that people wouldn't have even seen because they are so brutal. We can't broadcast them on our television screens. She also said a lot of it is on various social media outlets, and I urge people to have a look at how horrific and brutal it is and to see the scenes of people who have gone to a peaceful music festival. She describes the scenes where at least 260 young people were gunned down by Hamas militants. Putting it in the UK context, she said, that would be the equivalent of 2,000 people at Glastonbury being gunned down. I mean, it just doesn't bear thinking about. Basically, she wants people to feel sorry for Israel, innit? The fact that the Palestinians, the Hamas has gone there and done these type of things, innit? So she's like, don't shy away from it. See what's really happening over there.
Oh, Hamas like a terrorist group in Palestine.
I mean, yeah,
Palestine.
people call them terrorist group, but Palestinians, I don't think will necessarily call them terrorist group.
No, but like in Nigeria, we call Boko Haram a terrorist group.
Yeah, those are terrorists.
They are.
Those are terrorists.
Why?
So what's the difference?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
There'll probably be Palestinians that don't
Yeah. They
agree
probably
with
won't.
Hamas's tactics.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so technically they would be a terrorist group then.
Yeah, but people label certain people terrorists because you don't agree with their, their agenda. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but are they on the government's agenda though?
as terrorists.
But did the government send them to do what they went to do?
No.
No.
So they're terrorist group. They're a terrorist group then.
I think I might be speaking for Ramsey, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel he would say that they're terrorists,
Who, Hamas?
100%,
Okay.
because they ran into that place and they killed innocent people
Yeah.
on purpose.
Kids, I'm hearing. Yeah, that's
I don't
wild,
know how
man.
it is you can call them freedom fighters.
Who's going to? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I don't believe everyone's going to, even Palestinians. I don't think they're going to think Hamas are full blown. Well, all of Hamas are terrorists.
If-
They might do now.
In my head, if
might
they
do.
put that particular event in front of them and you ask them, do you think that they are terrorists? If they say no, you got to lock these people up.
Accomplices.
You got to lock them up. Because that's wild,
Yeah, you're right.
isn't it?
Okay,
is.
let me ask.
Why are you looking at me like that for? I'm not here for terrorism. You get what I'm trying to say, and I understand that lives are being lost on both sides, and at the end of the day, it's civilians. You get what I'm trying to say, and everybody that people even know the history of Israel and Palestine or whatever, and you can feel however you feel about who's done wrong or who started this or who done what, but then it's like you are putting your feelings towards the country and the regime onto civilians who ain't got nothing to do with it, and that's not fair, innit? You know what I'm trying to say? That because when you're saying Israel, you're talking about like these people have got anything to do with any of that. They're just civilians running there. They're just kids partying and then they're getting shot up and all that. So you can feel however you want about what Israel's done to Palestine, and it could be wrong. That's calm. But then you're using you're putting them sentiments on to say, well, then it's cool to just then the civilians that died don't matter. Then that's not true.
Okay.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think we should start topic of the day because it's
Let's
linked
get
to
into
it.
Thank you.
All right. So topic of the day is the power behind the power. Right. Yesterday, we were speaking briefly anyway about how it seems as though people are kind of being arrested or forced to suppress the excitement or the celebration of the attacks in Palestine, right? When Israel were attacked, basically, right? We had Suella Braverman say, I expect the police to use the full force of the law against displays of support for Hamas, other proscribed terrorist groups, or attempts to intimidate British Jews, right? The barrister Charlotte Proudman also posted a video of a car with Palestinian flags sounding its horn, right? And she wrote, celebrating the murders and the kidnapping of Israelis is quite possibly the most heinous act of public hate I have seen on the streets of London. So, people who are supporting Hamas, can you support Palestine without supporting Hamas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you do that without asking somebody? So if for example, I supported Palestine, right? By how I'm behaving, right? Just maybe clapping for Palestine, waving a Palestinian flag. Can you differentiate if I support Palestine or Hamas?
No, but that's part of the problem though. Because what's it called? Hamas is not being seen as a terrorist group in Palestine. Okay. People are doing it as this is a Palestinian thing.
No,
so
but
that's what will make it difficult for Palestinian citizen to be to think about their people.
But it's not even about that. It's about people that's not there, innit? So it's like you can support Palestine and you can have your flags and wave your flags for Palestine. But if you see Palestinians, which is essentially what Hamas are, if you see Palestinians parachute out of the sky and shoot up little kids, and your response to that is to wave your flag in cheering, then you are supporting.
No, but think about it though. The way I see it, it's like, see how yesterday Ramsey was talking about how he has Palestine merch.
Yeah.
And he just wears it on a normal day anyway.
But you could do that
since that's happened now. Since that's happened now, if he wears that now, it's giving the impression that he's standing with the terrorism that's happened.
It's because he's not condemning the actions. If your response, to the terrorism, is to put your shirt on and proud and run around and cheer like a celebration's happened, you are in support of
cheering and celebrating and stuff like that's different. But I think that even by him just wearing it, I don't think he has to say yay Palestine or anything like that. I think by just wearing it, people are gonna say you're insensitive and you are what's the word?
Yeah, but
you're agreeing with what they've done.
I think you can differentiate between the two. So again, like I'm saying, obviously, sorry, Ram, to keep using your name like that, but if there was,
He said he doesn't mind.
okay, cool. Well, if
You
there
know
was, if Israel attacked Palestine and we heard something about and there was deaths of Palestinians
Yeah.
and your response was to go and put on your Palestine jumper, then we can clearly see that you're in support of Palestine and atrocities that's going on over there. Yeah,
Yeah, but that's what makes it tricky.
if you
though.
put on the jumper because of them killing people, then you're openly saying that you're in support of Hamas.
How do
No, but
know
I
it's
hear
because
you though.
of?
But they're not gonna know that. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, people are not gonna clock that he was wearing this before. Even if it's a thing where people that see him regularly, they would have never clocked that what he was rocking was Palestinian merch, right? But now because this has happened, this guy's. Let's just say he wears it every single day, but then he's wearing it today for after the effect, right? He's going to wherever his situation is, whether he's somber mood or in all black or whatever it is, because he's now rocking something that's got Palestinian flag on it or whatever it is, he's automatically going to be seen as somebody who approves of what they've done. And I think that's the issue. That's why I was bringing up. That's why I asked about whether they're terrorist groups. Because I think when things happen in different countries, let me just use Boko Haram just because I'm Nigerian and I know about that. When Boko Haram kidnapped the Chibok girls, we actually talk about them on Sunday because half of them are still there. When they kidnapped the Chibok girls, 250 of those girls, it wasn't seen as a Nigerian thing. It was seen as this terrorist group in Nigeria. Do you get what I mean? But the conversations I'm hearing about Hamas, I'm not hearing the difference between Hamas being a terrorist group and Palestine. It's like a synonym.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? And I think that message is what's damaging and it condemns the entire country. Because when you think about it, again, just like in Israel, where it was citizens that were killed, that's what's happening in Palestine as well. It's people that have nothing to do with anything. The people that are literally minding their business, trying to make a living, trying to take care of their families, they end up being the victims of these wars. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think that's the issue.
I think slight difference though with the Boko Haram is that for the most part, Boko Haram, they're Nigerians. So they're fighting against the Nigerian government. In Palestine, Hamas is fighting Israelis for the benefit of Palestine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not like an internal, although the Palestinian government did split with Hamas, I think in 2015 or something like that, right? But prior to that, when
See,
Israel
no one's gonna know that.
Yeah. But prior to when Israel pulled out, I think maybe 2005,
Yeah.
it was both of them kind of in cahoots, like running the situation in Gaza, right? Obviously, they split. Hamas is doing their own thing now. But like you said, who's going to know? And at the end of the day, you're still getting people who are pro-Palestine saying, at the end of the day, these, not that the actions are justified, but understand where the actions are coming from.
Yeah,
So
but
if you're saying that...
That's like... I hate, like... That's not what we're dealing with at the moment. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, and that's like, you are still justifying it and saying, understanding where it's coming from. Like, obviously, like, and that's why it's so nuanced, is why it's so fucked up, because what you're saying is not wrong, but what about the 260 kids party goers that we're talking about? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, when you're doing that, you're doing all lives matter shit.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing when you're doing that. You're doing all lives matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's equivalent to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not what we're dealing with here. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about this isolated incident, and it's context is important to understand where it comes from and whatnot. But then you lose sight of the fact of what we're talking about now.
Okay. So are you just to be clear, separating the weekend's events and what's going on now with kind of the history of it?
Well, I think you kind of have to. You have to kind of look at it like a isolated attack. There's reasons for everything. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, they've been beefing forever. You know what I'm trying to say? And if you care enough to educate yourself and you go and realize, you understand the reason why we got to this point, which is cool. But you have to look at the isolated attack. And again, because it's civilians, bro. You know what I'm trying to say? It's because it's innocent people.
Yeah.
And this is the
Kids
one that's...
and that. Do you get what I'm saying? I think you have to.
Even though they've got history, like conflict and stuff like that, this is the one that's on everybody's lips and stuff like that. So it's difficult for people to, I guess... Like you were saying, obviously, if you're educated and you know about these things, blah, 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 then yeah, you would know that this has been what's been happening for over a long time. But it's difficult for people to look beyond what it is that they've just seen fresh off the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you support Palestine, right? And because I get what you're saying about trying to separate this and kind of looking at it as an isolated incident where it's just like unprovoked. Hamas did so-and-so. But I feel as though most Palestinians, I could be wrong, I don't even know any Palestinians, right? Just saying that. Huh?
I know, you know.
And then say, I feel Muslim, and then I don't know a single one, by the way.
No, because I want to be clear in it. I don't want it to. I want everyone to take what I'm saying with a pinch of salt, basically, right? And my thing is, at least to me, from what I'm seeing, what I believe is the case, Palestinians want their homeland, and they see certain things. Right, I think they see certain attacks as defense, because again, if you look at the amount of land that Israel has occupied since 1948 to today, it's only increased. It's only been an infringement on Palestinian land. So granted, I don't think any Palestinians really who are chilling there want to see Israeli kids die, innocent civilians die. I don't think they want that, but also don't want their side to die. You see what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, when you're looking at it, when they're displacing us and we have no homeland, when bombs are coming from Israel, because some Palestinians also believe certain things have been Israel started stuff. This year alone, 250 Palestinians have been killed. 250. We're not seeing that in the news, right? So they would argue, wait a minute. Yes, your 250 died at a bloody festival. But what about the 250 this year alone? Can't they argue that this is in response to that?
Do you know what I never understand yet? Is that when people are wanting to do freedom fighter, let's kill everybody or let's bomb everybody up and whatnot, they never go to the people that make the laws and stuff. It's always the innocent people. Why are the kids in it? Them kids just wanted to party. So I think that, to answer your initial question about how can a Palestinian say the Palestinian? I think
Show support and stuff.
Yeah, I think you can condemn what's happened as horrible and blah, blah, blah. And again, make a note to be like, the people that did that was disgusting.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone will fault you for that.
I think
That's how you do it.
like I was saying, when you speak to people, or if you know people that are affected by the issues, I reckon maybe your opinions might change, because it's easy to sit there, because we ain't got a horse in the race. You don't know no Palestinians and no Israelis or whatever. So you'll just sit there talking. But if it affects you, you might feel different about it. Like, it affects Brent. You get me? It affects us. I got a little Jewish babes that's distraught right now because her cousin's missing. You get what I'm trying to say? Luckily, like, her stepmother and that made it out of the country and thing, but like a cousin and that's missing. These are affecting real people. She ain't do nothing. You get what I'm trying to say?
It's so hard for me to get behind the conversation.
Take this camera off me.
Sorry.
What the hell? I don't know.
There's only 3 options. I don't want to be it.
Come on, be
Okay.
No, we were on.
Where's the
Yeah,
maturity
sorry.
in this room? God damn.
Was another message we got?
All right. So, what we've seen right from the jump is the carnage in that festival,
Yes.
and the world is reacting to that, right? Yes, if we had, what?
I want to make sure it's soaking into the mic.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, but it's a bit
One,
low
one.
sometimes. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
Pull up.
You're such a character. Everyone else says 1, 2.
How about no?
I said
Yeah,
1, 1.
that's better.
Yes.
Yeah, that's better.
Yes.
Much better.
Sure.
Talk to us, Spurs.
My friend, will you talk your talk?
Yeah. It's hard for me because I haven't seen the lead up to this, Emmanuel, on
This
the
is it.
Palestinian side. I haven't seen the babies in the mother's hands or the father's hands, and he's tearing up. Yesterday, I saw that. Yesterday, I went on Al Jazeera and I was looking at the carnage. Obviously, this is trauma porn, but I wanted to basically be able to balance how I was feeling, right? I wanted to see how they were reporting it over there. And it was heart-wrenching seeing these innocent people going through all of this. And my thought, that prevailing thought is, whenever these militants, whether they're radicalized or not, whether they're freedom fighters, go for the other fighters.
Bro.
Go for those people who are damaging what it is that you're trying to protect.
Bro.
Go for the
government or
innocents.
something.
Right, like, that's my thing. That's my thing, man.
But it's unrealistic, though.
It isn't.
What does that actually mean?
If you
What
go
does
to
that-
the
what does that
president,
actually
listen,
mean?
you're not making a bigger statement than going to the president's house and gunning down the president. The government, there's government workers. Or go to the government building. I'm sure every country has a government building where they all hold meetings and wherever it is. Why don't they ever go there? Those are people that are actually affecting what it is that you're trying to do. Killing civilians is just horrible, man.
It's hard.
It's
definitely-
horrible.
It's definitely horrible.
And what like people, they have no business to do with any of these things. When you want to kidnap, you never ever kidnap the governor and the president's kids or anything. Nope, you never ever do. It's literally people who are barely putting money together to sustain their lives and working hard and think of their children and whatever, and then you take from these people.
But it's all tactics.
It's horrible, man.
It's all tactics because you want those people in the land to kind of appeal to their government to say, look, let's just stop this war because they're killing us.
Because they have that much of a voice.
To some degree, because like, you know what I'm saying, if you're wiping it, imagine now, God forbid, there's a war in this particular country and you go to particular cities and just wiping people out. People in those cities will appeal to the government, to Sunak, and say, yo, either fight back, right, or just come to some type of ceasefire because we're dying here. And also, unless the army's on the front line, like, you know, back in the day, it's not like you can always target just the army. You know what I'm saying?
You can. All armies have a base.
Yeah, but it's...
Because you know what is, yeah? The thing is that this has been going on for years and years and years where you're targeting civilians, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't always get the response and the reaction people want it to get. Like, they've got to change the strategy at this point. If it is at the case where they must fight and they must do these things. It's horrible. And that's why there's a lot of love for Israel, man. Because again, it was an uncomfortable thing for people to have to see, and not a lot of people know the history of the conflicts anyway. So when they're then seeing that there's these kids just literally in their innocence just partying, and you've then gone there to gun them down, bro, of course, the PR is the way it is.
When the government do it and all that, obviously they're allies, but when people are doing it, it's not necessarily support for the regime. I don't believe, ain't it just for like the people?
As in right now with the Israeli support.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's literally for, yeah.
It's not for the regime. It's
not
not
for
saying
the-
that.
yeah.
It's not saying that they're supporting the Israeli
government or
government
how
and the way
it
that they're
runs.
treating the Palestinians and the Palestinians and all that. It's ain't it support for the people?
I don't think so.
No, I'm saying when Rishi Sunak does it,
Yeah.
he's doing it. He's
Well, yeah,
supporting
he's
the
doing it,
regime.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying,
Yeah.
I'm saying the public.
Okay.
Normal people,
Yeah.
like civilians, their support for Israel for what's going on, for the atrocities that they're seeing, it's not them saying that I stand with Israel and the regime and the displacement of the Palestinians. I don't believe that's what the average person is saying. They're just supporting civilians and humanity, you know?
Yeah, it's not because they don't know about the government and the politics.
Yeah, they
and
don't
all
even
that
know
kind
the
of stuff.
policies
All
and
they
these
know
things. Some of
is
them don't
that-
even know the history. They
I'm
just-
sitting
you
here,
get what I'm
I don't know a damn thing. All I'm thinking about is that there were these people, that the empathy is towards the kids that have died. That's what the majority of people do. The government try and sprinkle their thing in there wherever, but for the most part, if you ask people why is that the whole Ukraine and thingy war, why they hate Russia, they can't tell you why.
And this is
they
why it's
cannot tell you
fucked up,
why.
because the whole
Same
reason
with
behind
this situation
is like England and America. They're really the reasons to blame for this.
Oh, 100%.
You get me?
100%.
Like really and truly, like enabling all that behavior, not keeping holding people accountable for their actions and stuff like that. Like they're really to blame for all of this.
It's mad, man, because again, like we were saying yesterday, I don't know how this is going to end well. You know what I'm saying? And I think the mentality is just war is war. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? Let me read something that I saw on Twitter yesterday. And this is from a rabbi in North London. So his name is Rabbi Elchanan Beck, right? And he said, there's only one solution for peace in the Holy Land. That is to go back to before 1948 and return all occupied lands from sea to land to the Palestinian society. The only society in the world that claims to be a victim by occupying other people's lands is the Israeli society. This is from a Jewish rabbi.
Yeah, who makes him notable? Because how many Jewish rabbis are there?
No, but it's just
Were they in law?
because generally most people would kind of assume that the Jewish people are just are pro-Israeli.
Ain't you seen them Orthodox Jews burning the Israel flag?
Yeah, so I think that's his crowd.
Yeah, they're saying
his clique.
they're not Zionists.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? They're not in support of what's
Exactly.
going on. That's what they were saying. Yeah.
But again, they're like a very small fringe group, innit? So, you know what I mean? I don't know, man. The Israeli government's powerful. They've got America on their side. They've got the UK on their side. I don't see how this ends well for Palestine. And I don't really see how you can separate your support for Palestine and Hamas. I get it. Like, if you will kind of just want it to be capped at the kids and the civilians. But I feel as though, like I said earlier, over the years, you just see more land going towards Israel. And the Palestinian government's not really able to claim that land back.
What are you saying? Are you saying if you support Palestine, you have to support Hamas?
I'm not that you have to support them necessarily, but more so you're empathetic to their struggle, and you don't necessarily like you would always hate for innocents to be killed, but it's
You
almost
could be
like the
empathetic to
war.
someone's struggle and still condone their actions, not condone their
And
actions.
not condone. Yeah, 100%. But it's like the whole problem here is that Palestinian land has been taken from them, right?
Yeah.
How do you claim it back? How? Like international community ain't doing nothing. They all support Israel. They say it's a bona fide, recognized state since 1948. It's not going nowhere. So from the Palestinian perspective, again, I'm assuming here, they will see it as if we don't fight for our land, it will be gone. Either remain what it is today or continue to get less and less and less. So if Hamas is doing something to try and claim that land back, how do you not kind of support that? Because, do you get where I'm coming from? Again, this is just my opinion, so I could be 100% wrong. But that's kind of how I see it.
Question, Emmanuel, though.
Yeah.
Is that an effective strategy,
What exactly, Brent?
what they've done?
I don't know, because I don't know the extent of what they're planning tomorrow. So I don't know if this is really going to help. If they've got other things, if they're trying to draw Israel out and maybe try and attack in some other way or do something here, do this, that, and the third, then who knows? But if it's just to kill people on a certain, for a few weeks, then I don't think so, because the world, as you can see already, the world is supporting Israel. Most people are saying Hamas are terrorists and this, that, and the third. So I don't see how it helps the Palestinian plight. You know what I'm saying? Long term. But again, if they've got something up their sleeves and they're thinking some other stuff, other strategy, then you just never know. What I do know is that Israel are not going to give that land back.
It's so interesting. If you were the Hamas leader, and you
that's
had
Ramsey.
the... It's probably Ramsey. Mr. Bolton.
Good morning, caller.
I think you have to call back. Engage it.
Yeah, if I'm up, right?
Yeah, if you were the leader.
Okay. Good morning, caller. Good morning, caller.
Morning.
Hello?
Yo.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Brent, you're right. It's Ramsey. It's Scannon.
Well, we know it's you. Our spirit told us.
Yes, Ramsey. We're saying you're right.
You lot all good, yeah?
Yeah, you feeling better?
I am, you know.
That's good.
I'm feeling much better. Yeah, thank
that's
you.
good.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, Emmanuel, the thing you said about, you're saying naturally if you're supporting Palestine, you somewhat have empathy for Hamas, right? That's what you said.
Yeah. How do you separate the two? You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how I'm seeing it.
Well, like I said yesterday, when you're dealing with people that's been marginalized for generations and they've tried to have peace talks, they've tried to have, I forgot what it's called, like a peace treaty in which that's it, exactly. When they try to have ceasefires, but then it's constantly breached, it's constantly thrown away on the Israeli side, there's still people getting killed, and you've tried everything. The last thing you can do is what?
This is it. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you support Hamas.
so
Essentially, what you're saying is, if you're supporting Palestine, or if you even wave a Palestine flag, then you're with Hamas automatically. That's essentially what you're saying.
No, I don't think that's necessarily the case. It might just be like Mark was saying, you're supporting Palestine, this, that, and the third. But it's not like you're necessarily going to say Hamas stop. Because especially if you think Hamas is the only way you could potentially get land back. Again, this is just me assuming. I may not like...
Yeah, but
go on.
You're assuming that we're saying that's the only way. We're not.
Okay,
you can support
tell me
Palestine and still...
Tell me what you...
And still, I've never supported Hamas, but even before Hamas, there was the PLO, it was the Palestinian Liberation, can't remember, it was Palestinian Liberation something.
Mm-hmm.
But everything they done was wrong. If anything, through their means, they only exacerbated the issue. Hamas is a very, very militant group.
Mm-hmm.
They're you could probably put them up. How
many times?
Sorry, Ramsey.
Huh? Oh, I thought there was someone else on the podcast. I was lost.
No, you hear things.
Yeah, no, they I could say they're up there with ISIS, just with less funding. But the reason I think people aren't that strong against them is because they understand why they're doing what they're doing. It's everything has been recorded. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. All their struggles have been recorded, and all their other means of getting things done have been for nothing. So I definitely don't support Hamas, but in the same breath, I can't tell you that I don't see why. I can't see why they're doing that. If that makes
This
sense.
is exactly what I'm saying. And so my two questions, my thing would be, you don't have to answer it, but my two questions would be, okay, if Hamas was able to claim the land back, will Palestinians and people in support of Palestine be happy? Number one. And number two, like, if Hamas is not the way, what is the way?
To answer the first question, it's weird because then I'd be contradicting what I said yesterday about Jewish people claiming land in Israel.
Mm-hmm.
So by that logic, I'd say they should, but then it's going against what I said. But then in the same breath, they've been dealing with it for so long. You're just clutching at straws now, and you do whatever you can to get your land back or just to live in peace, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was the second question? You said, is there a solution other than Hamas?
Yeah, because you said it's basically possible to not support Hamas, label them terrorists, this and third, but also support Palestine and hope they get their land back. Like, what is that solution?
As much as I hate to say this, I hate to say this because it's unfair on the Palestinian side. I think exploring or even deviating around the two-state solution, but then it's almost like when a bully is like bullying your child, but then the bully still gets a reward after for bullying the child just so they'll stop bullying them. I don't like that. But then at the same breath, I don't want to see innocent people die. I definitely don't see innocent Palestinians die. So maybe it's what's that saying? Sorry, I'm feeling a bit shitty. A necessary evil to stop people dying.
Yeah. But almost by definition, that's war. You know what I'm saying? Isn't that just one of the things that happens?
No, because I said it's a two-state solution, which would mean there'll be fight, that the fight will stop on both sides.
Oh, so you'd be happy with a two-state solution?
No, I said that as much as I hate to say that, as in because a two-state solution essentially means that, or a deviation around that would mean that Palestine will still get what they want. So after all this fuckery, they get to still claim the land that they want to claim. So I'm not happy with that.
This is what I'm saying to you.
Shit, maybe I'm advocating for war then.
You know what I'm saying? Because I don't see how you separate the two.
That's a good point. But no one wants war though, innit?
Yeah. It's mad.
Yeah, no. But I still stand by the thing that I still stand by my point of if you're supporting Palestine, it doesn't mean you support Hamas.
Yeah. No, I hear you. All right.
Yeah, I think that's it.
All right, man.
Bless.
Thanks for the call, man.
Thank you.
Peace. Love.
All right. I think we can move on from there, man.
It's tough, man. Probably gonna be talking about this stuff every day.
Yeah, unfortunately.
All right.
Although, sorry, I just wanted to say, I think I saw a headline briefly as we were starting saying Israel has taken back Gaza. So, something like that. It was along those lines. So if that's the case, we may not be talking about it for too long. Maybe they secured everything and things will start to calm down. Yeah. But, we'll see. Yeah.
All right, let's get into our next headlines.
Okay, so our next headline, it's announced that Keir Starmer will also announce that a new Labour government will give all towns and cities in England new powers and funding to boost local economies, deliver thousands of new jobs and create high-quality jobs. In the biggest expansion of devolution since Labour was last in power, he will pledge that councils and combined authorities will get more control over housing and planning, skills, energy and transport of the kind currently held by London, the West Midlands and Greater Manchester. So Starmer will tell party activists at their annual conference that if we want to challenge the hoarding of potential in our economy, then we must win the war against the hoarders in Westminster, give power back and put communities in control. An economy that works for the whole country is what the British people want. The Tories know that. They stood at this crossroads before. They called it levelling up. But as soon as they counted their votes, they turned back. In his speech to the Labour conference, potentially the last before a general election, Starmer will set his sights on at least 2 terms in power in an attempt to rescue a country ruined by 13 years of Conservative rule. Next headline. Asylum seekers, according to Sky News anyway, asylum seekers who were evacuated from the Bibi Stockholm have been told that they will return to the barge next week. A total of 39 migrants were moved into the floating accommodation in August as part of a government plan to cut down the number being housed in hotels. But within days, the group of men were moved off the vessel after Legionella bacteria was found in the water supply. Sky News now understands that 39 people have been sent letters telling them that they're going to be moved back to the Bibi Stockholm next week. The Home Office has been contacted for a response. For those who don't know, the barge is among a number of controversial accommodation options that the government has begun rolling out, including former military bases and even the suggestion of large marquees. But it has faced fierce opposition from politicians, charities and residents over the treatment of asylum seekers and the impact on local services. And our last headline, it's not exactly the same as the related to Israel-Palestine, but it's the kind of similar type of equivalent in Nigeria. And remember we spoke about the great Yoruba nation activist, Chief Sunday Igboho. Mm-hmm. He's regained his freedom, man.
Oh, that's good.
Yes, so big up Chief Sunday Igboho. He's regained freedom after 2 years of trial by the Beninese government. Igboho has now been released from protective custody in the neighbouring Republic of Benin. He was arrested on Monday, July the 19th, 2021, by the International Criminal Police Organization at the airport in Cotonou, the Republic of Benin, on his way to Germany. He had fled Nigeria after a bloody raid on his residence in Ibadan, right, where they accused him of stockpiling arms. Igboho spoke to the Nigerian Tribune from Cotonou and he said, "I'm now free to return to Nigeria and visit any country in the world. I have fulfilled all the legal conditions attached to my bail a few years back, and I'm coming home to Nigeria, my country of origin, any moment from now." He also said, "I can confirm to you that I'm now free to come back to Nigeria. There's no legal encumbrance again. Even though I've been living in Cotonou for some time, I can confirm to you categorically that I have now secured the liberty to leave Cotonou for Nigeria." However, he commended some prominent Yoruba indigenes, politicians, the media, academia, and Yoruba monarchs for what he termed critical support and solidarity that he enjoyed from them while during his sojourn in Cotonou. Igboho, who was at the forefront of the struggle for Yoruba self-determination campaign under the Ilana Omoodua, specifically appreciated the president of Benin Republic, Patrice Talon. He also thanked the former president of Nigeria, Olusegun Obasanjo, Professor Wole Soyinka, Professor Banji Akintoye, a few other people as well. So yeah, man, he's basically super happy, man. Apparently, he's free. Apparently, he's going to Germany as well because his family's out there in Germany. Okay. So yeah, man, for those who don't know, basically he was somebody who was fighting for the freedom of Yoruba people, man, when they was getting attacked by those bloody militants from the north. But yeah, so he's free. Hopefully there'll be more good news, man. Yeah, man. So big up Sunday Igboho. And that's it for the headlines. It's time to pay the bills.
Lovely. Brent, so why is the camera been on me the whole time? Or did you just change it?
I just changed it.
Oh, my bad. Let's get into Word on Road. What was it? I don't know. I'll go and check.
Yeah.
I'll check after I do this.
Yeah.
Okay, so remember Kanye's girlfriend, Julia Fox? I'd never heard about until he started getting out with her. She's got a memoir called Down the Drain that she's written that will be coming out at some point.
Yeah.
And in that, she talks about Kanye. And, sorry, you've just got me very intrigued now.
Sorry, guys.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so basically, she talks about, obviously, her romance with Kanye. Didn't last that very long, to be fair. She talks about,
Sorry to cut you. It's off. It's done.
Kanye's married to a whole other woman.
Oh, I thought that was Julia Fox.
No, that's just another white girl.
Okay.
He's
sorry.
just running through them.
I thought it was the same.
No. Julia Fox is like the one that was always naked. Always.
Ain't this one always naked too?
I don't know. Because by the sound of things, Kanye's bum was out in Italy as well on a boat. So I don't even know. I don't know. Everyone's just, I don't know, man. Everyone's just, I've stopped keeping up. I can't keep up with Kanye anymore. I actually can't. He's just doing too much.
Man has all the time for him.
No, clearly not. You don't know. He didn't know his guy was married. But yeah.
Exactly.
So, so in that anyway, she talks about her romance with him, talks about, when they met and blah, blah. And I think something about the first time she met him, they met in the club, whatever. When they hugged, his hand was feeling up her body and whatnot. And then when he was outside in a parking lot, decided to pee on the wall. Decided to pee on the wall, but then he just zipped down. Then she jumped in front of him to cover him. I'm thinking, how are you going to jump in front of a man that's peeing straight? I don't know, girl. I'm never trying to deal with that math. And then, anyway, all of that nonsense. If you want to read the memoir, go ahead and read it. But basically, what I wanted to report on was that she basically said one time he offered to pay for a boob job because she was complaining about how her breast looked in a top or something like that. And he said, I'll get your boob job if you want. Very Kanye. That's very, very Kanye. And she talked about it was funny because she declined. She's like, how that day they'd actually spent the day playing Uno and a game that involves highlighting positive words in a dictionary. And then I guess he just thought, how much more positive can it get than you getting a boob job? Anyways, she's got a book coming out. I will not be reading it. Can't pay me enough to read that. So there's that. What is next? Oh, The Crown, the final season. I am sad about this. I am. The final season of The Crown. Such a shame, man. But so season 6 of The Crown. Sorry. Brendan Marks, do you know our show's back? The morning show.
Yeah, I know.
Is it?
Have you watched it? I haven't watched it.
No.
I'm waiting till it's finished so I could binge.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Watch the morning show. It's a really good show. But anyways, so The Crown season 6 finale is going to be out on the 16th of November. Basically, they make a 2-part series. Why do Americans love doing that to shows in the winter months? It's so annoying. So basically, the first 4 episodes are going to be out on the 16th of November, I believe, on Netflix, of course. And then the other half will be on December the 14th. And the other half will be the final 6 episodes. The trailer is out as well. I watched the trailer. It just looks like... It basically talks about how, the Queen from when she was young, blah, 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 and now she's old. It shows all the actresses that have played the Queen at different stages of her life. I'm sorry. I'm trying to see about Diana. I don't care about Elizabeth. But I'm hoping that they will cover quite a bit. Because it's the last one, in my mind, you've got to do up to the point where I even see a little Meghan Markle in there. Let's just go all the way home. But yeah, man, season 6, the last season of The Crown will be out November the 16th. The Beckhams have been trending all weekend, honey. All weekend. Because there's a Netflix docu-series on Netflix. I said that already. And it's called Beckham, I believe. I haven't watched it. If I'm being honest, I don't know that I'm going to watch it. I don't know that I'm that interested. I'm not. I don't think I'm going to watch it. But obviously, over the years, there's been a whole thing about, the alleged affair that David Beckham allegedly had, right?
Yeah.
And in the show, it's not really addressed, confirmed or denied. It's just talking about how that was a difficult time for them when the news broke and blah, 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 and how they had to basically stick together and try and make their marriage work and this, that, and the other, whatever. Obviously, what that has meant is brought a lot of smoke on the alleged woman that he had an affair with. And obviously, people have just been out here being horrible to her online and all that kind of stuff. I think that all of that stuff is just ridiculous, man. It's out of order for that. But she was then saying that. So basically, there was a comment. Someone must have posted something on Instagram. Why is this not loading now? Hold on. And someone said something about nowhere have I seen an admittance about the story being true. And then that was one comment. And then someone else made a comment saying if it wasn't true, then they would have sued her for defamation. And then she replied to that person with prayer hand emoji. Essentially, take from that what you will, sis said. Take from that what you will, and it's true. But yeah, man, I've heard the docuseries is really, really good. Really, really, really good. You guys watching it? Would you watch it?
If I got free time, man.
Yeah, my time is not free enough for that.
That's what I'm saying.
She's okay. Brent?
Beckhams?
Yeah.
Nah, I'm alright.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's that. It's a consensus in this side of town. And then what is next for you guys? Oh, yeah. So Big Brother started. Big up AJ and some other guy. I think his name is Bull or something. But big up AJ. And AJ's looking just beautiful black woman. Just doing what she needs to be doing. Presenting the show. Looking great. Love it. But so Big Brother started. And it's not a celebrity one. It's just the one with
Regular folk.
your everyday people. And one of the contestants made news. So she's an 18-year-old woman. Well, she's an 18-year-old trans woman who's a youth worker.
Okay.
And basically, she told her, came out, I guess? But she basically told her housemates yesterday about that. And I'll be honest with you, I think that's very brave considering the tour she's been on.
Told them about what? About the fact that she's a youth worker or that she's a trans?
No one cares about her being a youth worker.
Oh,
That
sorry.
she's a trans woman.
Oh, because I've not seen
I
her.
didn't know.
Oh, so she looks good.
She's a pretty girl. She's actually a pretty girl.
So there's no evidence from if you just look at her that she's trans.
I don't know. I don't understand the question.
They don't understand either.
Oh, is it?
That's,
Oh, yeah, I
ask
didn't
question,
get
then
the
I'll
sound of
focus the
question.
camera on you. Go on, keep asking.
I don't understand what's going on.
Guys, if I'm doing a madness, you just have to tell me.
No, we can't have them telling you.
No, you guys, you have to tell me.
Yeah, but how am I
This
supposed to
guy
tell
talking
you?
about put the camera on me.
How am I going to tell you when we're live
Just be like,
on air?
I don't know.
Okay, right. So anyway, so she came out to her, let her housemates know. So she sat them down and basically just said that, I don't know. She said how basically she felt like the first day she wasn't being her authentic self. And so I'd appreciate if you're quiet, please. Thank you very much. She basically said she felt like she wasn't being her authentic self. And she just wants to make it loud and clear that she's a trans woman. And she's 18, that's a young babe. 18, because obviously given the whole Rishi Sunak situation, the whole Conservatives, whatever they were doing, and being on a public space like Big Brother, watching Big Brother, the way Big Brother was back in the day, it's the trolls of it all of that stuff. So her putting herself out there like that, I can't lie, man, that's brave. That's brave. But she was surrounded with love and everyone was supportive and said to her that, that was good for you and all that kind of stuff. And then one of her housemates asked her, and this is why I like Big Brother when it's regular folk, because someone basically asked her, like, oh, are you waiting to do your surgery then? And she was like, yeah, like when she's like, if I win, that's what she's going to use the money to do that. And then the girl was like, so how much is it like going to cost you to get a fanny? I said, oh, not a fanny. But she basically said it cost like 30 grand. And then she also said that she was going to use the money as well to pay her mum back for all the payments that she's helped her with and stuff like that. It was really, really sweet, man. And the energy it's giving is that everyone's like protective of her kind of thing now. So big up her, man. Her name's Hallie.
Do you feel like, not to stay on this, but do you feel like it's not as bad in Big Brother as people think? Because it's a different time.
It's worse.
It's worse today.
No, I don't mean it's worse, but I just mean it's as bad as we think and probably worse than we think. I feel like all these shows where it's like reality stuff here, you can't even begin to imagine the way they're attacked for any little thing.
The reason why I'm saying that is because I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, so guys, please correct me. Remember back in the day, Big Brother, they had, I think this person was a trans as well, right? Pete something.
I remember that. I think I watched it.
Yeah.
It was a celebrity one though.
No,
I
Pete.
think so.
Celebrity is different.
Okay.
Because he was, I think
Pete
it
wasn't
was...
a trans, was it?
No?
Pete ain't the one that won with the star, or is that a different person?
No, that's a
No,
different person then.
that's the guy that Tourette's.
Yeah, ain't that?
No, not him.
The person I'm thinking about was a guy... No, it was a woman. It was a trans man.
The one that they was going mad because Genuine didn't want to kiss her.
I don't know.
It was a celebrity one. Gentleman might have been in there.
Yeah.
It was a celebrity. But I feel like celebrity one is different though. If you're a celebrity, you've already got protection like that. But when you're a regular person, and I think especially after the whole Rishi Sunak thing last week, because obviously there's the argument that in itself incites some kind of violence and stuff like that. I feel like, yeah, big up her, man. So yeah, big up her. And yeah. And then the last bit of me, this is scary, The next one I'm about to report. So Holly Willoughby from this morning. Holly Willoughby from this morning on ITV. There is a guy that lives in Essex that was plotting to kidnap her and harm her. So much so that he actually hired a hitman from America and was flying him over to do it.
Crazy.
So basically, she got the news. The police informed, I guess, came to this morning, ITV, on Thursday. And this was a few minutes before she went on air. And she's been off air ever since. She's been at home ever since. Because they basically said that, he was charged on Friday. But yeah, they basically said that, they've come into this information and basically he was arrested on the Wednesday or something like that anyway. And they found, obviously, his phone and whatnot. And they saw communications where he was talking about harming her and, Yeah, and they were like, basically, they believe this is a whole kidnap. Like he's been charged for attempted kidnap, and he was going to kidnap her. She's got 3 kids, minding her business. Had a difficult year with Philip Schofield and his mess, and here you are. Someone's just plotting to kidnap you and whatever. So she got the news a few minutes before she went on air, and so she basically couldn't go on air that day. The police basically said, "Ma'am, you need to go home," essentially. And the ITV boss has said that she's gonna be she's off air. She's been off air since, and they're not sure when she's gonna come back. But the ITV managing director said, inevitably there is already speculation about when Holly will return. However, our priority right now is the safety and well-being of Holly and her family. I wanted to reassure you that throughout this distressing time, we have been in constant contact with Holly and the authorities, and we are providing all the support we can. That's difficult because obviously with her, like, you know where she works. And then also with like, she's an active mum in terms of like, she picks her kids from schools and goes to the little school, whatever they're doing, and walks their dogs all the time. And it's tricky, man, but I hope she's okay. That is just very, very distressing and very scary. So prayers and love to Holly and her family. Because even with her kids, the paranoia of them going to school and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Crazy, man. If you see the guy as well, some any waste, man. I don't know what could she have done to you. But yeah, man, he's been arrested. He's in police custody, and hopefully he gets some good time, and actually they can keep an eye on him moving forward, because that's very, very wild. But yeah, that is all from me. Let's get into the People's Journal.
The chat said the beautiful woman's name was Nadia.
Who's that?
What beautiful? Who?
The new gen.
No, her name's Hallie.
No, the one from Big Brother before.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Nadia.
Yeah, she won.
Nadia. I must think of someone else then.
Foreign, like. Yeah.
Was she white?
Yeah.
So
I'm thinking of someone different.
What about Pete then?
Who's that?
I'm pretty sure Pete was in. His name's Pete.
Pete
Let's find
Davidson
out.
or something
Pete
like that.
Burns.
Yeah, yes. I think it's Pete Burns.
But did you make that up?
No, I
That's
think
it.
he's right.
I'm reading the chat.
Oh,
Ain't that
okay.
from the celebrity one? Ain't
Yeah,
that
yeah.
the man that was pressing up on Genuine?
I think so.
Yeah, it's different.
That's not even who I'm talking about, That's what's crazy.
Also, Nadia's was like a normal.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
Okay.
All right.
Alright.
Thank you.
You're welcome. In fact, thank you, chat. One person said that they are vexed that we don't read the chat more, and then Finan said it annoys him.
Yeah, but, sorry.
So I hope it is.
Wait,
I've made you guys
Wait a
feel
minute.
better now.
So we are presenting a show live. So whilst we're doing this, I know we can multitask, but whilst we're doing this, we're also going to be keeping up with the chat and then responding to things in the chat.
The thing is, they don't even know
Okay.
there's a delay. There's a whole
Oh, yeah, that's
15-second delay.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Well, thank you, though.
Yeah,
We appreciate it.
All the time.
Yeah.
People, John?
Yes, please.
All right, people, welcome to the People's Journal, where I give the news from an economics point of view. So the first thing I wanted to mention, man, it's looking quite tough, man, for Medway Council in Kent. So, obviously, when it comes to Christmas time, every council is going to be putting up Christmas lights, things of that
Medway
nature.
doing that?
Huh?
Medway's not doing that.
They're not doing it, man.
I hear it, though. They've got other things to focus on.
Well, they said, in their words, it's due to a challenging financial situation. So they've cancelled all of its Christmas lights for 2023.
That's a bit sad, though.
It is sad, man.
Can the government do something about it?
What? I don't think so. Because what they're saying is they had to make the sad and difficult decision after identifying a potential overspend of £17 million.
That's how much it costs to put lights up?
No, there's already an overspend. So they can't basically accommodate that. So the council said that they're going to be saving £75,000 by not putting the lights up.
So wait, so they've already got a debt of 75 million.
Precisely.
And they think that 75,000 of Christmas lights is what's really going to break the bank. The bank has been broken.
But how can you...
They could do that for the kids. Give the
I hear
kids
you.
something.
I hear you. That's true.
It's Christmas.
Yeah.
I'm not even a Christmas girl like that, but for the little kids.
But yeah, man, a report in September predicted that they would face potential bankruptcy. So it's looking like that prediction is going to be right, unfortunately, man.
That's a shame.
But Mr. Maple, who's basically the council leader, he said that we're making these incredibly difficult decisions to reduce the potential overspend and to ensure we can continue to provide essential services that we are required to provide by law. I'm pleased the local ward councillors are still able to fund a Christmas tree in each town. So there's going to be a Christmas tree. There just won't be no Christmas lights. So if you want
No
to take
lights.
pictures,
No lights on the tree.
What's the point then? That's so dead. I'd rather there was nothing.
sad. If you want your pictures, you got to do it during the day. That's all.
I feel like what they should do as a community is everyone come out with your lights and just
You know
light
what?
up the streets.
Someone might do that, you know.
What, like a GoFundMe?
Yeah, they might do it because people like it means a lot to people, man.
They're
Yeah,
worried
because
about the
it's-
wrong things.
What? Christmas lights. You got to think about
Cost of
little
living.
kids.
You're
Man.
gonna do GoFundMe for lights.
But that's why they should have done it then, because cost of living, some of the parents probably can't afford Christmas presents this year. So the least you could have done is giving them a day out with their kids
This is it.
to go and
At
take
least give them
pictures with
Christmas.
free lights. Exactly.
There's gonna be people that no homes and food this Christmas
At
and
least
things. You're
give
worried
them the
about lights.
At
Come
least, yeah, at
on.
least. Listen, it's the little things, you know. Little things can really make your day. If you're broke, no job, no Christmas presents, homeless and everything, and you look across the road and you see a Christmas light lit up, it's like, okay, do you know what? There's hope, man.
Don't
This
do
is
too
it.
much. I'm Muslim this year anyway, so I'm not celebrating.
Lemon Kwanzaa.
Oh man.
Oh, that's sad.
Yes.
I'd donate to that GoFundMe.
All right,
I
well,
would, man. That's just South order.
we should start one, man.
Who?
Us.
Oh,
Make sure the funds go to the right place.
That's what I'm saying.
not you. Your Kwanzaa / Muslim / Catholic looking ass. Oh, dear.
Yeah, but anyway, hopefully they sort it out.
I hope so.
But the next thing I wanted to chat about is the Shadow Chancellor Rachel Reeves, right? So she announced a number of policies to the conference. Sorry, at the conference for the Labour. At the Labour conference, yes, in Liverpool, right? So there's a few things she mentioned, and the first one was about economic accountability. So she said, we will protect the independence of the Bank of England, the Office for Budget Responsibility, the OBR, and our civil service. I'm not too sure if you guys remember, but a few weeks back, they were talking about putting something in place to prevent the government from circumventing the OBR's, basically their reports. Basically, what Liz Truss and Kwesi Kwarteng did. They didn't care to look at the OBR's recommendations for nothing. They just said, guys, we don't care about you. I'm the Prime Minister. I'm the Chancellor. That's all that matters. And they did what they did, and we're in the situation we are in now, right? So Labour's saying we're going to return to that situation and make it mandatory to consider that report. So that's the main thing she's talking about there. She's also talking about increasing stamp duty for overseas property buyers. So, basically the revenue from that will be used by the Labour government to fund house building in the UK. This is their plan, right? She's also talking about clamping down on taxation. So they're looking to impose a more extensive windfall tax on energy companies. They want to abolish the non-dom tax status and abolish the loophole that prevents private schools from paying VAT. So again, I think we kind of touched on that before on the show. If not, we will do, right? But yeah, currently private schools don't have to pay any VAT. Labour are not happy about that. They're also talking about rebuilding the economy in the interest of working people. So again, this is not just going to be a whole top-heavy situation. This will be something that will take into account the real cost of living and how it's really affecting people on a day-to-day. You know what I'm saying? So they're looking to abolish zero-hour contracts that lead to the uncertainty of certain earnings. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're on a zero-hour contract, certain companies can just get rid of you willy-nilly. You know what I'm saying? They're not for that, right? And then also the last thing is talking about highlighting the issue of waste in the UK. And she pretty much announced to Labour that they're going to be introducing a crackdown on the use of private planes by ministers. So all those things that kind of mess up the ozone and all that, right? They're trying to stop all of that type of stuff. But not just because of that, but mainly because of the amount of money that's been spent by the actual people who are ministers, you know what I'm saying? They're looking to also slash a government consultancy spending as well, which apparently is almost quadrupled in the last 6 years. So yeah, this is the main thing that they're tackling. So it sounds good, man. So all the best to them, I guess. Last thing I wanted to mention briefly is just to kind of look at the polls, the latest polling, and this is organised by Sky News' live tracker. And apparently, because remember the other day we were talking about how Sunak kind of clawed back some of the lead. At the moment, Labour still leads over Conservative by 18 points. So again, I really don't see how Tories can bring this back. Like I said, if they're able to, then they deserve it because the gap is huge, right? And also, just quickly, just to look at Sunak's 5 pledges so far, and see how he's kind of doing well. The first one was to halve inflation. So inflation in August was 1.4% higher than his target of 5.35%. So he's not hitting that target, firstly, right? The next thing is to grow the economy. And the economy did grow by a small amount, but still grew 0.2% in the last 3 months to July.
I knew it was going to start with 0. I just knew it.
You know what I mean? But, he's getting there, I guess. He's also looking to reduce debt, and he's failing that one. Right? So the national debt is rising relative to GDP. And the last two things was cutting the NHS waiting time. So the waiting times are shrinking, but the waiting list itself is not shrinking. So he's partially getting there, right? And the last thing is obviously what Suella Braverman's been in the news talking about, and this is the number of people crossing the small boats. And it is slightly lower than last year. So he's not fully achieved it outright, because it is still higher than 2021, but it is less than 2022. So he's somewhat there. And yeah, I'll stop there. That's pretty much it for the People's Journal.
Oh, lovely. Thank you. Let's get into our interview.
Yes.
I haven't got Percy, sorry.
That's okay.
That's all right.
Sorry, give me a second.
Looks so cool on camera. All right, so you guys know we love a bit of TV and film on this end.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a lovely director here with us today, also co-founder of a youth-driven production company as well. And we're going to be talking about his most recent, the direction. I don't know what the word is.
Yeah, project.
Project, thank you. I was thinking
Direction.
His most recent project as well, PTSD. We're going to get into all of that. Please
Yes.
introduce yourself, sir.
Hi, I'm Teddy Nygh, as you said, co-founder of Fully Focused, and also the platform MYM on YouTube, Million Youth Media.
Oh.
Love that. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Yeah.
Nice to be here. I really like the setup that you guys have.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's nice.
Brent over there.
Nice that you're doing the live editing as well.
100%.
Come on.
Busy.
God.
All right, so we have a game that we play with our guests, and basically we ask you kind of general knowledge questions,
Okay.
and or like this or that type of questions. There is a leaderboard that we are keeping score, and I am rooting for you. I'm gonna start telling people that. Every time I tell people I'm rooting for them, they don't do well.
It's early for this.
Yeah, but you know what? We just have to get going.
Yeah.
We have to wake up and go.
I'm here, I'm ready.
This is it, exactly. It's going to be over a 140 beat, but you don't have to rap anything. You just answer the questions. And you can pass if you don't know the answer to it.
Okay, cool.
So try and get as many as you can.
All right,
Yeah?
let's go.
All right, lovely.
Start from the bottom, yeah.
Wait.
Yes.
I just edited a few.
Let me know when you're ready.
I'm not ready.
Is there an answer missing?
Yeah.
We're
By
still
the
skipping
way,
that one.
No, I'm
Everybody,
still saying it, but it's fine.
What's the
You
answer?
don't need to give that. I don't know. I'll Google it. But
Alright.
Teddy may know. That's what matters.
Um,
You know it? Don't say it loud.
I should do.
Okay, well, let's let the spirit lead.
Yes.
Yeah?
Oh, I like this.
Oh, yeah, of course. I know it.
Oh, yeah, nice.
yeah, by the way, he's Purcell's not here for good reasons, by the way. But he
Yeah.
still owes us a visit.
He does. Let him know that, please. Please pass the message along.
I will. He would have 100% been here.
100%.
Yeah.
All right, lovely. Are we ready? Everyone ready?
Yes, indeed.
All right, Brent.
All right. Starting in 3, 2, 1.
What's the largest planet in the solar system?
My planet,
What is the capital of Ukraine?
Kiev,
Religion or way of life?
way of life,
What temperature does water boil at?
100,
Which author wrote To Kill a Mockingbird?
my man,
No, my man.
Producing or directing?
directed for me.
Who painted the Mona Lisa?
Ah, should definitely know this one, but the name is there somewhere in the back drawer. It's not coming out. It's too early to open it.
How many twos are in 100,404?
Say again.
How many zeros, isn't it?
How many twos?
How many twos are in 100,404?
What?
How many twos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
500
Okay.
and half of the 4. 502.
Okay.
I have no idea, but
Basically, if you,
So it's thrown him.
Yeah.
It's thrown bugs up.
if you see that number,
question.
basically, if you see that number, how many twos are in that number?
None.
Exactly.
oh, I thought you were saying how many. Anyway,
Yeah, it threw me off anyway. We're gonna give you that point because that was ridiculous. I didn't even know how to read all of a sudden. I was thinking, what the hell? Okay. Which one did you not get? Oh, Jupiter.
Yeah.
I don't know my
That's
solar
planet.
systems, though, to be fair. No one really does.
Mona Lisa,
Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah.
of course.
Yes.
And then Killer Mockingbird was Harper Lee.
Oh right, okay.
Harper Lee. Okay, well, let's get into the interview. How did you get started in your journey with TV and film?
So when I was young, I got into acting,
Okay.
and then it was something I was good at school.
Acting.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it was like one of the only things because I got kicked out of school at 15.
Oh.
But then I went to live in another country. A bunch of stuff happened. When I came back, I really was like the scene, the music scene for me in the UK was something I was very proud of. And my friend came to my house with Lord of the Mics DVD. And at this stage, it was the first time I'd seen the culture on the screen because I come from raving days and we used to have tape backs and used to have the MCs and radio and we'll tape the radio. But we didn't have the visual yet. So when I saw that, I was like, wow, this is amazing. But what about all around here where I grew up? There's a lot of talent.
Where
So
did
I
you
want
grow
to
up?
capture that, North London.
Okay.
So I wanted to capture the talent. And so I went to the estate, borrowed my friend's camera, and I just started to film the people I knew, people I grew up with. And that journey took me on a mad journey, long journey, because I knew nothing. And my life's lesson came from that, but we'll come back to that later. And then I pushed and I learned. I didn't know anything. I didn't know how to film. I didn't know how to edit. All I knew is what I knew from acting, which was about being in a moment, how to capture the real moment. And for me, that's what I wanted to do. I just wanted to capture real moments with real people, talking real talk. But come back to that point. So yeah, basically that journey took me to BET, to meet someone in BET.
Sick.
And I was just hustling. Basically, I was just hustling every single day, every single week. I was hustling however way I could to try and get this project out there.
Yeah.
And then that led me to filming some stuff for BET, the first UK Cypher, which is the year that Giggs won. So the Cypher was Giggs, Gets, Skepta and Chip on the roof top. We shot it in Paddington. And then that led to me directing Giggs' first big video, which was You Raised Me, the song he did for his mum.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like that one?
Yeah,
It was a
sick.
cold song. And I was very proud to be able to make it because it showed another side to Giggs. And as he's my friend, I saw that side to him.
Okay.
And I was like proud to be able to be
Bring
part
that
of
to life.
bringing that to life.
Yeah.
And our mums, we all need and love our mums. It's a powerful, important message. So yeah, the journey really went from there. And because of my acting past, I've always wanted to work with actors.
Yeah.
And so I started to go down that route. But also, I've worked with young people for many years. And so I wanted to build something that supported the next generation as well.
When you said when you picked up a camera to start filming, what were you filming the people in your area doing? Like, was it music? Was it acting?
Rap.
Was it just music?
It was just rap. It was
okay.
just rap, yeah. And or making beats.
Okay.
And just speaking to the camera. And when I cut it all together, it was called Clash of the Tight Ones.
Okay.
Where opinions clash and the rhymes are tight. And
Bars.
and so the way I put it together, when I learned, someone had to show me how to edit. Like in my journey, lots of people have helped me. Do you know what I mean? Where I wouldn't have got there if someone didn't show me something.
Yeah.
But again, I'll come on to that later. So someone showed me the basics and then I just went away and learned how to edit and I put the story together. The story is told by the raps. So everybody's literally rapping a story.
Yeah.
There's still some conversation, but yeah, essentially that's how the story was told.
And that was your first project, you would say?
Yeah, that was
That's
the
so cool.
first time that I picked up a camera and I had to learn from there, really. And then that journey took me on a whole heap of other journeys.
How long was it
to where
before
I am
you started working with BET? Like, what was the? Because you said you were hustling at that
Yeah.
time. So, what was the period of time of that hustle before BET?
I think it was about 2 years of anywhere I feel, because I filmed all over London and I went to any area, every area, and just captured wherever I could.
Yeah.
And then I would contact the local paper from that area and say, look, we've got this artist from your area speaking some important truths that need to be heard. Because my thing was, it was an opportunity to talk about the art and the heart of the music.
Okay.
And sometimes that gets overlooked. And yeah, there are people that jump on the bandwagon when it comes to fabricating the life. And then there's pain. And for me, pain is art. Pain is expression. We just talked about the Mona Lisa. There's other paintings that are bloody. There's theatre shows that are bloody, and they're celebrated.
Yeah.
So why is it when we put our pain down, it's not celebrated? Maybe it's because there's a controversial side to it. But what's in the middle of that? And that was kind of my angle when just calling up papers, and eventually the local papers led to more of the main press. And then that led to me meeting someone who came and helped. His name was Glenn Yearwood. He used to run a PR company. He got me into the BET. I think it was like a launch party for them launching here. Okay. And I met Ava Hall. Oh yeah. Shout out Ava Hall. She's launched Africa TV now in the US. And I was in hustle mode. So I just said to her, listen, you need to put this on your channel. Yeah. You need to watch it and you need to put it on your channel. And then I just kept contacting her, and I learned early on that if someone doesn't get back to you, not to give up, like just keep trying until you get an answer. And eventually, which I don't do so much anymore, fear of rejection. But anyway.
Really?
Yeah, I should do it more now. Yeah.
Why do you think that is though?
I think it's always been there. There's always been a fear of rejection. You know, that fear of someone saying to you no and making you feel less. Yeah. It's a hard one. It's a hard one to like stand up and push through something. It's easier to go, well, you know what I mean, and just keep it moving. But I persisted.
Do you think you hustle? Because obviously you've done amazing things now.
Thank you.
So you built your career like over the years. Like, I guess you don't have to hustle the way you did at the start.
I do though.
You still do?
Yeah. Every day. Now there's more mouths to feed. There's more people depending on us.
Because I was going to say maybe that's where that comes from. Because sometimes you hear that with artists as well. Yeah. When they're just starting out, they're happy to drop the CD and give it to anybody and stop anybody.
Yeah.
But then when they're on the world stage, then they start to have imposter syndrome and they start to, I wonder what that pressure...
I think it comes and goes in life where, for me anyway, definitely I've always had that. I grew up without a dad. And I think when you have that, there's always something in you that's missing and you have to rise up to overcome that.
Absolutely.
And so sometimes I can and sometimes it's harder. Yeah. You know, and that's the battle, that's the journey. That's the battle with yourself, ultimately. It's just a self-battle. There's no one that you're in a battle with apart from yourself in this life. So, yeah, sometimes it's easier than others. But essentially, in this case, I persisted. And we had a meeting when she came over to London. And then she said, look, we've got this thing. We've got this cypher. We want you to shoot some stuff for it. And then, kind of like dangling the carrot, then maybe we can put your thing on the channel. And I was like, okay. So I went away and I came back and said, but we need a budget. Like, we can't do this without a budget. Because essentially, that's what the proposition was.
Yeah. Oh, the cypher.
Yeah, and some other stuff called BET Is My Thing. It was like a little campaign that we did. And we got a little budget. It wasn't a lot. They said they don't have money, even though they're owned by Viacom. And so we worked with what we had. We were used to working with nothing at the time. So worked with what we had and made some powerful pieces of content. And then, the journey kind of carried on from there and led to the different things it led to. But it was a good couple of years of just constant. Like I filmed about 60 hours of footage, and in those days it was a camcorder. It was just a camcorder. Yeah. You know? And I had to, when you ingested back then, you used to have to watch the tapes as they come in. It wasn't like digitized footage now where you just and it's in. Yeah. But in that I was watching, so I was learning, you know?
That's so cool.
I was learning every time I watched. I knew what the footage I was getting. I knew if I was making mistakes, the camera's too far away. There's no sound, man. It's how close are you with the camera? It's how close are you with the mic? So just learning that by watching. And so now whenever I'm working, mentoring, teaching the next generation, I'm always trying to learn how to edit because it helps so much. If you have an edit in mind, then you know you know how to tell a story, you know what you don't need, what you definitely do need. So it was all a learning process, and it was literally thousands of hours of sitting with the footage and picking up the phone and going to any area, and then even Australia. I was filming over there because I went out there when I was young by myself when life got peak.
Is this when you got kicked out of school? 'Cause I was going to ask where you went.
Not long after that, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, well, first place I went was Feltham, unfortunately. But yeah, then after that, age 18, I left by myself and went to Oz. And then that's why I thought it would be quite interesting to see the scene over there. What's the difference when you live in sunshine to when you live in grey?
They're happier.
Yeah, and how does that reflect in the music? How does that reflect in the energy of the music? Obviously, there's ghetto in Sydney. You would never see it if you go there on holiday, but there is. So there's pain everywhere.
Yeah.
You know,
That's so cool.
not to say ghetto is pain, ghetto is community, ghetto is love, but
there
at
is
the same time,
everywhere you go,
exactly.
there is that. So when did you make the transition from music to film then, and TV?
So that journey has been happening during Fully Focused times. And I guess BET was the first because it went on TV. But then there was a long period after that where I was just making like a lot of short films and stuff.
Okay.
And we were putting them out on NYM. And that's the relationship with Purcell. He's my brother. We've done 5 films together now.
Oh, sick.
Going all the way back to an early one called Why Stop, which was skills and your rights if you're stopped and searched by police. And it was quite a powerful tool because it actually helps you not to get nicked, basically.
Yeah.
So that was our first one back in, I think, 2015 or something. But started getting into scripted. I was doing a lot of work with the younger generation with all different people. I did a lot of work in Hackney. I did a lot of work in South. I did a lot of work in Neasden, Harlesden, Kilburn, all around there. And with that, I started to direct like little kind of youth theatre projects and different things that I was doing.
Yeah.
And then the next step was starting to work with actors and basic camera stuff. And then, the shorts on NYM. And now I've got shorts on NYM with 8 million views, 7, 5, 6, like 50 million in total across a few films, like maybe 6 films.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm very proud of it because it's organic. It's not paid for. It's real. It's the films are powerful.
Yeah.
The films have impacted people's lives. They've made people change their decision. People maybe they was going to go somewhere with some friends. They didn't go. The friends went. Someone died. They could have been there, but one film they watched made them say, "I'm not going." And now they're good.
Which of them is your favorite one that's had like the biggest impact, or like the deepest message for you or something?
It's hard because it's like your kids. But one of the ones I think that's a classic is Deep It.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was Purcell and Javan. And the DNA of Deep It and Drawn Out is in Chiro's story.
Okay. Yeah.
So in a way, that's probably the proudest moments because of what happened next.
Yeah.
And where Rapman's taken his career and what he's managed to achieve and where he is now as well.
Yeah.
NYM has been a catalyst for a lot of people over the years to build something, use it as a platform
Yeah.
and build out. And I think Deep It has helped a lot of people. It's a powerful film that shows the unpredictability of carrying a knife. Once you've got it on you, anything can happen. It's not necessarily in your control unless you're a master. If you understand the, but otherwise, anything can happen at any time.
So with MYM, right, which is Million Youth Media, right?
Yeah.
Can other directors basically do certain things and upload it on your platform, or is it more so you?
Yeah, no, it's many, many, many directors from all
Okay.
over the UK and from nationwide and from other countries too. And most importantly, we have a program called NYM Academy. That's
Okay.
the training program for the next generation. And that's been running since the start. The thing about Fully Focused is it's always been driven by the next generation. Because I was in the youth work. When you was out, I was saying, like, I worked everywhere. I was in Hackney doing stuff in Stokey, in Homerton, in all different areas. And so it's always been my kind of dream to build something with stability long term, where there is no cut-off. Because a lot of projects I worked on over the years, the funding would run out. And what that means is the relationship is finished because they literally say to you, the project's over. And you can't even take numbers because of safeguarding. So I felt that was very counterproductive to build trust, relationship, and then disappear from these young people's lives like so many other people have and let them down. And so I felt like we need to build our own thing where we've got that stability forever, like for as long as I'm alive and beyond my life. And that no matter what someone goes through, if you need to leave, if you've got life is life in, you can do what you need to do, but we're here. We're still here for you. So for me to build that was so important. And NYM is a big part of that because it's a platform for expression and it's part of the training ground for the young team. So they can create content about issues and topics that they really want to talk about that mean the most to them, and then see people engage with it while learning skills on the project. And while using it as a platform as like, look at my film, it got this amount of views and it can help. And then they also work across Fully Focused Productions, which is the production side. We did a show with the BBC called Prue, which is a comedy set in a pupil referral unit, so a school for excluded children. And we created 60 paid placements on the show.
Sick.
60. So then the skills that everything we create as well is always paid. And so the skills they get from that, they put into the other strand, Fully Focused Community, where we work with all different charities, grant-based projects. We did a project with Apple last year, 40 films, 4 weeks. No, sorry, 4 films, 4 weeks, 40 young people using Apple products, and then they put the films on Apple TV. So NYM is a big part of that growth, and the young team are the panel. So all films that are submitted are curated by the young team. So the senior team, we don't even have a say. In
how long has this been around for?
NYM or Fully Focused? NYM 10 years now.
That's amazing.
Was that when you started the YouTube channel as well? So you got like 450,000 subscribers. This is popping off, and the views on some of these videos are serious. So it's definitely dope exposure for these young actors coming up, and shit. This is dope.
Yeah,
That's
it's done a
sick.
lot for the culture, for sure. Thank you, man. It has. It's 85 million views on our content now.
Is it?
Yeah, so it's built. It's about 10 years. The company's been running 13 years. We started in 2010, but even before that, I was doing Fully Focused, like the music video for Gigs, for example. That was under Fully Focused. So I was doing that stuff and doing the youth work. And then it just made sense to build something together, and I set it up with my good friend Nygh Bedu, who's the co-founder and head of production at Fully Focused. And now we help 70 young people through the academy. We've helped hundreds and thousands of young people across the years because we do online masterclasses and workshops as well. And then, they get to put their skills. So from what they learn on Fully Focused Productions, they get to put into practice now in Fully Focused Community, but as directors, producers, editors.
That's sick. Getting the
manage
credit
budget,
from young.
manage the project, write on the project, exactly, get the credit, learn from early, and then have full agency to create stuff for the channel. And then people that submit, creators, filmmakers that submit, it's the young team, that's the panel that decides. So they're also curating the channel as well. And that's a powerful thing in itself, to understand like what makes a good film, and then to see films that you've chosen and how they do
well
online.
What's the age group? So like, is it a situation where they kind of apply, and like, do they have to maybe finish sixth form or something, or like uni? Do they need experience?
Yeah, so it's 16 to 25, but people stay longer than that. And they don't have to have anything in terms of qualifications or anything like that. In fact, we're set up to help those who are facing challenges in life. So that's really what we're here for. But if you have experience, that's cool as well.
I think it's really cool what you're
That's sick,
doing,
man,
because that's actually like, that is what building a legacy really is. I think the fact that, I love how well thought out it is as well, and how intentional you've been in saying that you didn't you didn't want things to run out. You didn't want a thing where this has an expiry date for the youth you work with, and thinking about, backgrounds they've come from where they've been let down before and things haven't been, going on. And even when you've just said as well that it's 16 to 25, but people do stay on beyond 25.
Yeah.
And I can imagine being that age, because doing creative stuff, imposter syndrome is just off the roof. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And I can imagine being on a panel where you get to, you can put ideas forward, like that's nurtured, and you can decide that, okay, yeah, you know what, let's do this. And then you get to see the fruits of your work. That must be like so, confidence is just out of this world. I love that.
Yeah, it's amazing. And the opportunities now, we've got so many of our young team out there doing amazing things. Even 2 of them now, they're doing shadow directing on Gangs of London. And shadow directing is serious. You get to do second unit directing as well, often. And you're paid for that whole time you're on the job. And that can then, once you've got that on your CV and you're going up for another high-end TV job, you're more likely to get it.
What's second unit directing?
So most big shows, big dramas, they'll have a second unit that picks up a lot of the stuff that the main unit might not have time to get. So, but some of second unit can be quite exciting stuff as well. So it could be a car scene. It could be some scenes with non-main characters. You might even get a whole scene with main characters. Like the director just might not be able to finish the day with the schedule, and they'll go, do you know what? Second unit, you manage this. It's just 2 people talking in a bar or in wherever, in a car. You can manage it. And then suddenly now you've directed on a,
a big
£2, £3, £4 million an episode show. And then that means when other people look at you, they'll go, okay, he or she has done that. So that means they can probably do this.
They can be trusted and do that.
Yeah, and they're out there. They're in the industry doing so many things with so many different companies now.
That's so cool.
Which is amazing to see, because we want leaders in the industry. That's the thing that we need. People in powers of position, in positions of power, sorry.
Yeah. How did the switch come from you being kicked out of school to now you like building a legacy that's this amazing? Like, what was it that was what moment was okay, let me get myself together and this is what I'm capable of doing and this is what I'm going to do? Was there a moment like that?
It's a deep story. I had to go through life, I think, and go to the darkest place possible to then come back out and see the light and learn that there's hope no matter what.
Yeah.
And the thing I had that I was very blessed with was love from my mum.
Beautiful.
And I know a lot of people don't have that.
Yeah.
And when I see certain youngsters, what they're going through, and they haven't got love.
Deep. Yeah, that's amazing, man. Honestly, I'm so proud of you.
Yeah,
Thank
for
you.
real.
Amazing.
You right? You need a minute?
I'm all right. I recovered quickly. Thank you, though.
Classic.
You know, you mentioned before about like the certain constraints like that you've had in the past in terms of like funding, right? How are you able to like circumvent that now?
Yeah, funding. I think the main thing for us that was lucky is we started with nothing. We didn't have any funding. In fact, we just started, and then we had the largest case of mass civil unrest in modern British history. And obviously where you fled, so everyone was feeling it and feeling the like knee-jerk reaction and blaming the youngsters and stuff. So we decided to go out and make a documentary. It's called Riot from Wrong.
Okay.
And that meant it was a light clash of the Titans. It was another journey where we had no money. It was a long journey of many years, but what we did is a lot of community screenings.
Okay.
And we ended up doing 120 screenings around the world. And the young team were able to come to the US. We went to St. Louis, where Ferguson, where Mike Brown was killed. We went to the spot, what do you call it, when you leave flowers and things.
Oh, cemetery and stuff.
The memorial, yeah. The memorial was still there in the middle of the road.
Oh, wow.
Where the cars were driving, like it was deep.
Yeah.
And we've had so many deep experiences like that film has given us. And I just found out that yesterday that my friend's son he's studying media for his A levels, and he's studying right from wrong. So that might mean that it's across the whole of the curriculum.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they're studying it to understand how the media can twist things. Because there's many points made in the film, but one small point was there's an image that the media use of Mark Duggan's face looking very vexed.
Yeah.
And it's only a mid shot. And when you cut away, you see he's holding the headstone of his daughter's grave,
It's a heart.
his young baby daughter, and he's at the cemetery.
That's wow. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So stuff like that, where it's like, nah, people need to learn. So that's amazing that the next generation of potentially journalists or whatever they might become are using this to understand the power that they have with media. So I can't even remember the question.
It's about funding.
About funding.
Oh, funding.
Yeah.
So with that, what that helped with, it didn't help with funding because it pretty much cost us to make it. But what it helped with is getting out and having conversations and people understanding who we are and what we're about, because the young team worked on that from start to finish, and it became the blueprint of how we work with the young team. And also it meant that every time we were on stage together.
Yeah.
We would show up like Wu-Tang wherever we went, basically. And then it meant that in these rooms, people would get to know who we were. And it was the start of us kind of going out there. But that was a very long story to say, essentially, we learned over the years how to tap into different bits and pieces. We're a non-profit as well, so we can get some funding.
Yeah.
Maybe not as much as if we were a charity, but that's something we're working on as well at the moment.
Okay.
And then also how do you get work? You know, so the channel has been good for that because we've been able to make projects with people. A lot of the dramas that have some of the most views are a commissioned project, and you would never necessarily know it's been commissioned by someone, but it's someone that needs to get a certain message out, and we'll create a whole drama around it. So yeah, slowly the building blocks of funding have been slow, but the consistency, and now more than ever we're in that position where we need funding. We've got staff to pay, we've got overheads, we've got the cost of living crisis. There's so many things, but we set up in a recession and we weathered the storm of COVID, so we'll weather this one now.
Absolutely.
But it is like
it
does get tight, and it does get scary, and you can never relax. It's like freelance life. I did the freelance life for quite a while before setting up Fully Focused, and it was the same month to month. You don't know where your salary's coming from, and now it's multiplied because it's more people that
They have to think about it.
Yeah. So yeah, the funding thing is not easy, but I suppose.
Yeah. You're a definite hustler, boy.
Only way to get it.
You're a hustler. If a short film is commissioned by somebody, let's just say, I don't know, whatever body it could be, let's just say government or something, does that impact how it's received? Like media-wise, does that put people off or make them want to tune into it?
Ask a question.
If a film is commissioned, so say for example, a film is commissioned by, let's say, the current government.
Yes.
And it's to do with young people, their lives and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Would that put young people off from wanting to tune into it?
Yeah, good question. Well, that's the skill that we learn, is to still create something that nobody would know where it's come from, because we're going to put authenticity on it.
Yeah.
Always. That's for us is number one. And we'll say to them off the bat, you got to let us do it the way that we do it in order to get the impact you want. Because as soon as anybody smells falseness,
This is it, yeah.
you're finished. And
Yeah.
So even Deep It was funded in its original form by MOPAC. And so we worked with Tri-Borough Youth Offending Services, and every week we'd go over to Hammersmith and work with young people at the Youth Offending Services.
Yeah.
And it was wild. Sometimes they'll be trying to fight each other in a room where someone else turned up, or someone's waiting outside with something for someone. But we got to the end. Some of them were in the film. Some of our young team came in as well, which is a nice thing. You get that peer-to-peer, which is very strong at Fully Focused. And the film we made is a powerful film, is a cult classic. So, yeah, I suppose we learn how to do it. Sometimes the restrictions are worse, more than others. Like, we've done stuff with government, and there's a lot of red tape. so many things. You can't say this, you can't do that. Even swearing, violence, whatever it is, there's so many loops. But again, it just teaches you how to be creative. How do you think outside the box? How do you still make something gripping, engaging, exciting, but with limited flexibility, limited freedom?
I was going to say, with those kind of projects, would you still take that on and challenge yourself to see how you can get the message through? Or have there ever been red tapes that's just like, bro, this is too much and no thank you, we're not interested?
I think we have a policy where we always bring it to the team first.
Okay.
And we say, this is the project, what do you think? And then we'll like
Decide
weigh it up. But sometimes I've been in a project and it's been like,
A headache.
flipping hell, man. And but it's like that in the industry. When we made Prue, sometimes in the edit, I was getting notes, 100 notes from 5 different people, literally 100 notes. And some of the notes were clashing with each other. So this is how it is in the creative industry. You've got a lot of stakeholders, a lot of opinions, and anyone who's done any shows will speak to that and say, yeah, was it the show that I set out to make? Was it what I really wanted? And there's only a few people out there that have carte blanche, like full sign off, people like Wes Anderson or something, that he gets his money privately funded and he signs off his edit. Nobody else. A lot of directors don't even get final cut. The execs from the studios get final cut.
Okay.
So could that completely change, like the final? Wow. And
Can you imagine?
And they'll make
crazy.
you do reshoots.
And you
It's
know
not
that's
just
not what you
you've
created.
shot, because in the edit you can make 100 different versions of your film. The edit is where it's really crafted. What you shoot is a decent part of it, but the edit, you can change everything. You can build it to something great. You can destroy it. So yeah, it can change dramatically. But then,
as a director, when you shoot something, you don't have no control how it's edited.
you do if it's an independent project. You do to an extent when it's for TV, because you sit in with the editor. But then they start sending you notes. So you've got to be very strong to know where to fight your battles, which are the most important things. That's like
Okay, yeah.
Not gonna
and which are the
compromise.
things that's
Non-negotiables.
like, okay, yeah, non-negotiables, and where you can negotiate a bit and also investigate stuff. If you investigate it and it hasn't worked, then you know you can go back strong and say, look, we tried it, it didn't work.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it gets into a battle of back and forward of, we strongly feel that, you need to do this.
It's like, I strongly feel we should do this.
And so it's
That's so tricky.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not an easy world to navigate.
What are some of the criticisms that you've kind of heard about the type of films that you direct? And do you pay them much mind?
I think the criticisms are probably in the comments, because YouTube is feeding to the lions.
Oh.
You're getting thrown into the wolf.
Who are you telling?
So but that's a good place to come up though, because if you feel like you've made it through there, you've had good response, and then you can do that anywhere. So I think sometimes it's in there, but. And then I suppose you get some reviews, someone writes it, but you just think, I didn't make this film for you though. That's usually, it's hard not to listen.
Yeah.
We all listen, I think. It's just how much does it impact what you do next. But I don't feel like there's been a critically defining moment where someone said something that has changed the way I feel. I think it's just the most important thing to me when I make something is that the community is made for, the people in the film, especially actors who give their heart and soul to something, and those that the film is meant to reach, they kind of certify it, they feel it, they love it, they care about it. That's for me what's important. And for me as well, for my own self-critic, if I watch it and I think, no, that's cold, then I know
You've done a good job.
I've done a good job, because we're our own worst critics, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
We had Femi Oyenira on the show.
Yeah, I saw he kept his shades on as well, and now I know why. Early morning.
And basically, we had before we had Femi, we had Ajani Salmon on the show as well. So big up
both
Ajani
of them friends.
and Danny Mosley as
them
well.
Yeah.
And basically, we had the clip out, right, on social media. And basically, this whole situation started because somebody added, after seeing that clip from Ajani and Danny, added Femi and saying, look, basically, like, you only do hood films, right? And look at something else that you could kind of do.
Okay.
That same type of criticism, do you kind of get that as well? Where it's like, okay, you're making it for this type of community, for people in the hood, come up in, you know what I mean, the estates and things of that nature. And do you care? Or is it really just a situation where that's a false narrative and you do actually do a lot of other different things too?
The thing is, we do a lot of other films and we have a lot of other films on the channel, and I've directed a lot of other films. I think there's always going to be an element of the culture is going to be in my films, and an element of relatability from where my lived experience is going to be in my projects, because that's the truth, the most truthful way I can make something.
Yeah.
But it's not, all the projects I've made, they're not always about the hood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, I agree. We need many, many, many more stories. We need stories of celebration.
Yeah.
We need stories of, we need normal, everyday stories as well. Like, we need empowering stories. We need new stories that we've never heard before. We need a lot of different stories. I think that ultimately we live in Britain, and it's a tabloid mentality here. People love you, then people hate you. People want to raise you up, then people want to tear you down. And that's a bad shame, because that's like the Daily Mail mentality. And while people want to cuss the Daily Mail, they behave Daily Mail. Do you know what I mean? In their life.
What would you say to anybody that would question or say to you that you was like profiting off like negative black stereotypes as a white man?
Yeah, I mean, look, of course that's going to happen. Of course that's going to come up. But it's not my work. My work is way, way deeper than that. My work is not black stereotypes. My work is going deeper into human life and human struggles. And if anyone's watched the films, they will see that. There's a way, way deeper layer. And when you ask me about the question, what someone might not know about me, then I would.
Oh, you've done your research. I love a guest like that.
I would touch on. Another element to that story, why people don't know. But on the surface, it's going to be easy to look at that or to make that assumption. But then that's a bias in itself. You're looking at me and assuming by how I look. So that would be water off a duck's back to me, because I know my heart and I know who I am and I know why I do what I do, and there's a lot of power in it. You know.
Better speak on it.
Do you kind of, to kind of piggyback off that, because obviously, as you already know, some people you can't please everybody. That's just the reality of life, right? But being conscious that, you know, you're obviously a white gentleman who's come from similar experiences as like, you know, black people or whatever, because you grew up in the same sort of areas, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel like there's certain things you can't say, can't do as a director, even though you're trying to push the truest version of that?
Yeah. Yeah, I think you have to be aware, obviously. I've understood white privilege from a very, very young age. Not now it's a popular topic to talk about. I was often the odd one out, and so I felt it, I saw it. You knock on the door, you get the taxi, you go first. You're the white one, you sit in the front seat. All of that. So, and then the treatment of how police would treat me versus my friends. But not just that, I've grown up in the black community. I have black family. Some of the most important role models I've had in my life have been black men and black women. And I'll go into that later. So for me, I have to do this. This is my way of giving back. And we're a non-for-profit, so there is no profit. And then look at what we've built. Look how many people we're helping as well.
Good point.
So yeah, it's way deeper than anything that could come on the surface. But I still, for me, it's how do I use what I have? I have this skin tone. So how can I use it?
That's deep there, because some people are denying they've got the skin tone in the first place.
For real.
Yeah.
It's funny. Sometimes I look in the mirror and I'm like, how come I look like this? Because of how I feel of who I am and how I identify. Even my family and where it all goes back to. But in society, this is how I'm always going to be seen.
Yeah.
So I need to be able to utilize that for the greatest cause.
Absolutely.
Wait. So what are you saying? When you say you look in the mirror and think, is this me? Who do you identify as inside?
It's a good question. I'm Irish and Indonesian.
Yeah.
And because I've grown up in black households,
Yeah.
there's a part of me that feels black. Not on the outside.
Yeah.
That's probably going to be a soundbite. The whole
We're gonna get you on TikTok.
It's getting me everywhere. But you know what? It's my truth. So
It's given Nigerian because you're in the green, white, green. Just gonna say, you know what I mean? It's giving a bit of Nigeria.
it's my truth, and
Yeah.
that's all I can speak to.
Yeah.
Is that so?
If you don't mind, yeah, touch on, like you said, the positive, like, black influences, men and women in your
Yeah.
lives, and
Yeah.
how they've shaped your life.
Yeah. So when I was young, I went into care of social services for a little while, not for a long time, but for a period, and I was on my own at first, getting moved around, and then when I was in Feltham, they let me out, but the clause was that I had to go and live with what I called a foster uncle.
Okay.
And that was a black man. And he's one of the first people that, Paul, his name is, he's one of the first people that I listened to as an authoritative figure and a male authoritative figure as well. Then the first person that I did my youth work with was Auntie Jan, aka Mama Hackney, who runs the crib. And
You know he's been raised around black people. He said auntie. You can't call her by first name.
of course, this is my auntie. And that was on the front line. But she knew me from young because I used to be around the area. So she knew what I'd been through.
Yeah.
And so when she heard that I wanted to work with young people, she said, come. And she took me under her wing and she taught me so much. And so if I hadn't have done that work with Auntie Jan, I wouldn't have the skills and experience to go on and do all the other work I did.
Yeah.
When I first got the opportunity to direct the music video, the Gigs music video, I went to see my friend, again, black man. He showed me the pattern of how he directs music videos selflessly. Jason, his name is. And he gave that to me. He said, use this. There are countless examples. My fiance, her dad, rest in peace, he's not with us anymore. He showed me what it means to be a dad, what it means to be a good man.
Oh, beautiful.
When I looked at him, I was like, okay,
Oh, that's beautiful.
that's what a good dad is. I didn't have that, but he was a good dad. And even now, my partner, my mother, my children, my kids are Ghanaian and Jamaican
Oh, beautiful.
and Irish. They're powerful children.
Love
and I'm
that.
raising them in this world. Do you understand? And they will know all their heritage, and they're blessed and lucky to have all that family in different countries, because I didn't have that. I grew up on my own here with just me and my mum until my stepdad came. But anyway, even my partner's dad now, my kid's granddad, my father-in-law, to see how he will get up. He's in his 80s. He'll get up at 6 a.m. to help his daughter still to this day. So, yeah, these are the
Beautiful. Influences.
powerful influences. Yeah, you lot got me emotional, innit?
I love that.
A few times.
I love it.
So if that other clip gets soundbited and
They
don't see anything else, it's fine. It's still fine, because I know.
Let's take up a stitch up, man. Good to you like that.
But
We'd
the
like our guests to come back.
internet is the internet, innit? So
That is true.
it is what it is. And I'm not even out there. I don't even have socials.
How do you stay in tune with like culture, trends? Obviously, I know you work with a lot of young people,
Yeah.
but how is it being in the industry that you're in and not being on social media? I always find that so fascinating. There's someone else.
Because I see it. I see social. I see it. You know, thank you so much. We have socials. We have our UK Fully Focused Insta. We have our MYM Insta. We have our MYM TikTok. We have obviously our YouTube channel. So I still see it all, but I don't sign in. I see it from public view. I used to sign in, but it was taking too much time.
Yeah.
And I used to have social years ago, but I just came off because of distraction. So I can still get distracted. The one thing I have is LinkedIn. because it's
Yeah.
business, so it
Yeah,
makes
yeah,
sense. But other than that, I've thought about it because as a director, that's my main thing now for me.
Yeah.
Is my directing is the thing I love so much. That's what gives me my soul and my joy and passion and everything. So
Yeah.
sometimes I think, oh, maybe I should have it Insta or something like that. But no.
You're getting by
No,
really
because
well without
I'm
it.
Yeah,
lucky
exactly,
not to
innit?
have it, so there's no point in getting caught in the trap now.
Yeah, and it is that.
Before, because obviously we have to talk about the new film,
Yes.
PTSD, right? But before we get there,
Yeah.
I want to know who are like your top 3 directors. Who's kind of influenced your work?
Top 3 is really hard because there are so many, but Scorsese is definitely in there.
Okay.
Again, because everything he makes, not everything, but the majority of all his best films are from his lived experience.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
Okay.
because he grew up in Little Italy. And so he's grown up around the kind of mafia culture. He understands it. So when he makes it, it comes from that real place. But also he's pivoted and made loads of other films, powerful films, like different types of films. Silence is exactly what I was thinking.
yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Bro.
Sick film.
And it's still pain on a mad level, but just very, very different. So I have a lot of respect for him. Christopher Nolan.
That's the guy.
Because he's just...
Yeah. Every film. Anyway,
Yeah.
let me-
he's a whole different kettle of fish.
Yeah.
So I have to, respect that. And I think I have to say Spielberg because he's a movie maker. He understands the magic of movies to a level that not many people can understand.
Yeah.
And again, he's made so many different types of movies. But there are so many more, and there are so many in the UK, and there are some amazing female directors as well. So there's a lot that inspire me, and loads of them doing TV and showrunners and stuff like that. So it just feels like we're in a time now where we have such an abundance of content that there's inspiration everywhere.
It's beautiful.
And the new ones coming through as well.
Yeah.
I have to shout out Kobe. I have to shout out all I'm not even going to start shouting out people because it'll just get long. But there's a lot of new talent coming through that
Sick.
That's
I
sick.
highly respect. Yeah.
All right. Well, we have to get into PTSD.
Yeah.
First question is, have you watched it?
The trailer. Is it out yet?
Do you know?
No, I think the
offici-
screener was sent over, right?
No, it wasn't. You know. That's
It
what I'm saying
wasn't?
to you. No.
Oh well, this is awkward now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Gosh,
I bet you wish you didn't ask us.
I checked
was
on the
waiting
way
for
as
it.
well. And
Yeah, I was waiting for it because
she
obviously
said
I
that
wanted
the
everyone
screener was
to.
sent with
Yeah.
everything.
She asked me if I want it, and I was like, yeah, send the link, please. But
What's the screening like? The full thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't get that.
We was waiting for it.
Damn. Oh, well, I'll just make sure it's sent today, even though
Yes,
we don't
please.
have the pleasure of being able to talk about it
Yeah.
in detail now.
This means you gotta come
Make
back.
sure we Get it. Yeah, I'll be happy to come back
Love that.
if you'll have me.
Oh,
Definitely.
yeah, PTSD. Why PTSD? Because I think a lot of people, more people than we know in this world, have PTSD
Exactly.
and they don't have a clue about it.
Yeah.
So what was important about that messaging for you?
For me, it's unaddressed trauma. We're in a cycle of hurt people.
Yeah.
And so if we're not dealing with the hurt,
Yeah.
then the cycle is going to carry on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that we can ever truly break the cycle,
Yeah.
but if we are addressing the trauma in some ways, whatever those solutions might be, the conversation is the first part.
Yeah.
Because
absolutely.
a lot of us are carrying trauma, but we're in our big age, if we lose someone close to us, there's no manual for how to cope with that.
Yeah.
But when you're young and you've got hormones flying through your body and you're living in the moment and you don't even know, you're still navigating life.
Yeah.
What does that do? And what does it do if you're the person who takes the person's life? You got a duppy on your shoulder forever. And while you might be able to block it out for some time, when you go to sleep at night,
It haunts you, babe.
you're on your own with
Yeah.
that. And I don't know how many people actually consider that. And that when you're 40, you still got that. Do you know what I mean? So for me, I felt like this is an important opportunity to look at both sides of the coin. And if the victim could come back and haunt the killer, what would they say? So
Deep.
Yeah, for real.
there's a few reasons why I wanted to make this one. But I worked with the young team for 20 weeks, and we sat down
Sick.
and we kind of shaped the story. And then Sheila Naughtley, who's an amazing writer, came on and wrote the screenplay for it, and together we
amazing.
got it to where we wanted it to be. But yeah, often it's because of solutions. I want to create something that we can find some solution, some conversation. A lot of people in our age now, they have therapy and they find it helpful. If that was available like in schools, and if it was presented in a way that it was relatable and it didn't feel like, because most of us are like, I don't want to talk to no one.
Yeah.
But if it felt like someone that was approachable and it didn't have a stigma to it, and maybe it wasn't labeled as therapy or counseling, maybe it was just conversations.
Yeah.
If you could start processing stuff from younger, then
Well, the new generations will benefit from that, innit? I mean, in my day growing up, mental health wasn't a thing. That makes sense. No one didn't care about your mental health, really. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like nowadays, they're very mindful of that, and with the social media, and it's one of the first things you do. They tell people to have wellness checks on people and whatnot. And if there's certain things going on, the first thing they're going to do is pause and say, "Yo, look, be mindful, mental health." But that wasn't there before. But I'm guessing the new generation are definitely going to take it.
They will.
I don't know if they'll take advantage of it, but there'll be an advantage because it's at the forefront of people's thinking, innit? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
100%. Because even when I think about like the older generation, there was no conversations about that. Like they were just on survival mode from when they were straight out the womb to today. Do you get me? So even with them having that conversation about therapy and stuff, they don't get it. But yeah, the younger generation are going to benefit the most from it. Because I think even with our generation currently, yes, there are more conversations being had, but some people are still hold on to like the old ways of thinking where they don't fully get it, and they still in a way there's still a stigma attached to doing therapy and caring about your mental health, and it's like, oh, that's weak, or black people, we don't really do that. Do you get what I mean? So I think the conversations are changing slowly, but it is at least happening, and I think the younger generation are going to be in a much, God willing, a better place than
This is the hope, but things have got so much worse from our generation in the 90s where things were bad. And I feel like our generation played a part in that in a way because of the wild things that we were doing, and the kids were always watching. And so people's siblings, people's kids, people's siblings' kids are the new generations that have kind of, it's just got worse and worse and worse, and things have become more and more normalized. Everyone's more and more desensitized. So it's a sticky situation for us. But also it's demographic as well. It depends on where you are. If you're in Manchester, Liverpool, it's white kids running around doing that, or Glasgow or parts of Ireland. It's not about now a certain race. It's about we're in an epidemic of acceptable level of violence amongst the younger generation. That's been normalized to a point where you hear about another killing on the news. This is just the killings you hear about. What about all the people that survive and are living with trauma? But anyway, you hear about it and you go, oh man, another one. And then everyone gets on with
we just get on with their day, you know?
Because no one knows what to do. So for me, what can I do? I've got the power of film. It's a very powerful tool. Then we can do something. Let's get people together in a room. Let's hit them with something hard so they can't ignore it, and show them another perspective to make them really think, and then see. And then even for the premiere, we've linked up with 2 charities, Red Thread and Street Doctors, who are doing the work on the ground right now. So in terms of solutions, they've got some solutions. Street Doctors this is a life-saving solution more than a kind of long-term psychological solution, but they give training for life-saving skills. So if someone is stabbed, you can actually save their life and what to do in that situation, for example. But then within that, counselling and long-term effects come into it. So they're looking at what can they do to support with that. And Red Thread go into hospitals when someone's been in an attack, and they start from the hospital bedside of how can they help, and it's all trauma informed, and they have counsellors and stuff. So from that moment of something happening, they can go in and start helping from there. So that's another way that we can see what can be done, is by bringing in the experts that are doing it, rather than just saying this is the problem. It's like, well, this is the problem. this is maybe some sides of the problem that
Yeah.
haven't been considered or spoken about enough, and these are some people that are working on issues around the problem.
Yeah.
Now what can we do?
It's tough out there, man. I think you got to just approach these things from just different angles, like just throw against the wall and see what sticks, because you never know like what's gonna work. 'Cause
Yeah.
even when you just talking about like, cancers, that charities talk about they got cancers and stuff like that. I just took myself back to being in the hospital bed after I got stabbed. I couldn't imagine a counsellor, some stranger counsellor, come walking into this room trying to talk to me. I'd have been like, be for fucking get the fuck out of my room. Like, who is this man?
Yeah.
Go!
Security.
Security! You know what I'm saying? I would have not been receptive to that at all.
And man, but what if it was a young woman that felt like she had a nice energy that you wanted to talk to her?
What, and she had back and thing. But then I'm all caught up on that. No, man, I don't want to. No, still, it's embarrassing now. Now you're messing me up now. Bringing in the pen thing and I'm all wounded and thing. What are we doing here? That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying don't help you. I'm just saying it's so hard to think like what's gonna like
I think that's why you
do
got
it.
to have.
You get me?
numbers,
And that's why
yeah.
you just got to do
You
it
got-
from a
yeah, you gotta have
from
different-
every angle. Just
Yeah, you gotta have
Yeah.
different variations, because there will be someone who that's happened to. He's been through this before, and whilst this is happening to him, he's having a conversation like, do you know what? If I survive this,
Yeah.
I'm done, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then you have that counselor there who can help him.
Yeah,
It has to be different things. It's
Yeah,
not one
yeah.
size fits all, man.
Yeah, that's the thing. And it might for one person it might not work. For another person it might. They might
Yeah.
be so grateful that someone's come in to actually say, how are you doing?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
what's
yeah.
going on for you right
Yeah.
now? Can we help? Can you is there anything like someone else and if one life is saved, I don't know, you can't really put value on
You
a
definitely
life.
can't.
That's
man.
true, though.
Definitely can't.
And I think that's part of the problem is how big the problem is. We think it's like climate change. It's so big that no one really knows what to do. So we just get on with it.
Just
Yeah.
recycle.
But if everybody does something small, yeah, exactly. If everyone does 1%, just
Yeah.
1%, but 1% for 100 people, already that's 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
What was
yeah,
the
like
hardest
you
part?
said, see what sticks.
Yeah.
Everyone try to do something.
Yeah. What was the hardest part to film, or maybe even when you were reading the script and stuff? What was the difficult part of it? Because that trailer looked deep.
Yeah, innit?
I'm gonna have to watch this during daytime.
Yeah, it is deep. I think there was different challenges. I suppose one of it was shooting in the rain for ages, and the actors having to just work in the rain and then just use it for the scene, and then shooting in a prison that had pretty much no electricity or heating in the winter.
What, for real? For real?
Yeah, because it was a side of the prison that's not used. I think, or maybe
Okay.
the whole prison was not used.
Okay.
I can't remember now, but they use it for filming and stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, that was cold.
Did they charge you for that?
Yeah, but it wasn't too bad. We didn't have a lot
Give
of
the
money for
Medway
this
kids Christmas
either.
lights. Silly. We're carrying. Sorry.
Yeah, so I guess there was those, and then go into emotional places as well, and digging deep
Yeah.
to deal with, the moments that we're dealing with.
Yeah. The topics.
So for the actors, they put their heart and soul into it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, not having a lot of budget. Also, this one, the young team stepped up to a lot of the key roles.
Sick.
So there was less experience on set as well. So it's like you're navigating that as well.
Yeah.
Even though we always have them on set, like there was less actual long-term experienced
Really?
industry people on set on this one. So
That's
yeah,
good.
it's going to make things more challenging in itself. But it's a good thing. Yeah, definitely.
If you were to like describe the film, without giving away some spoilers, right?
Yeah.
But like, describe the film, the storyline of the film. How would you relay that to the people?
I think what I said before probably sums it up quite well. It's like what I said. It's kind of a Scrooge concept in a way. So, what happens if the victim of the killer comes back to haunt the killer? What conversations would they have?
Okay, I get you. Interesting.
Yeah, I think that's the easiest way. Sum up. There's a log line for it written down, but I don't know. I don't know where it is.
Well, was it challenging, like, basically, when you get certain scripts, are you able to say to yourself, definitely short film and not, like, a long feature? Or is it sometimes a thing where you where you're given a script for a long feature film, and you feel it's best to condense this into like a short 45-minute film. So like this one, for instance.
Yeah, this wasn't even a long script. I think it was about 30 pages, and it just ended up being much longer. It was about 52, 54 minutes in the original edit, and then we went in and just tightened it up, and now it's 44 minutes.
Okay.
But I think people on NYM are going to be happy because they're always asking for longer.
Okay.
So, but yeah, it depends on what you do, because it's quite deceiving that on paper you might have one line, because they say it's about a minute a page, but that rule is not a true rule, because if you got one line, but depending on what's happening in that line, that could be a few minutes on screen. And with this one, we let it breathe in various places.
Yeah.
It was one of the first times we had the freedom to just make something. It didn't have the usual stakeholders. So we were able to make something that we really wanted to make without worrying about everyone else's opinions, which is a blessing and doesn't happen, very often. So it was the time it ended up as.
When people watch it, what do you want them to get out of it?
There's a lot of layers to this one. So there are a lot of different things that I want people to get out of it. One of them is a point I mentioned earlier, that for those that are on the road, have you considered what it might be like to live with the fact that you've killed someone? And actually deepen that on a different level. How would that be to live with that every day of your life? And some people might just shrug it off, but I think in this film, it kind of takes you there. Another one is the unaddressed trauma is a massive part, is how do we address, and the ripple effect of trauma as well. Yeah. Because if you're at school, the whole class, some of them might have witnessed a killing, some of them might not have, but the whole class are dealing with it. The ripple effect of the families, the fallout of families, how families can turn against each other internally. All of these different ripple effects of trauma are so immense that it feels like that's an important one to look at as well, because a lot of people might need the trauma support afterwards. Also, for the politicians or for the white middle classes to understand that this could be your child as well. So it doesn't discriminate anymore. Your child could be killed, but actually your child could get caught with a knife, and that could put, that record means that his life won't be what you may have envisioned for him or for her, and also could put a massive stain on your family. So it's also looking at that as well, and saying, a lot of us have children, so we have to work out ways that we can support the next generation and help keep their lives good.
The ripple effect is a deep one. Because I always think about, like, when stuff like that happens, like the girl from Croydon the other day, like all her friends are gonna have to just carry on school as if a part of their day isn't there anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like they're gonna go into the classroom, and then where she usually sits is just like, we're just gonna act as though there wasn't a person there. And I do hope that stuff like this lets the government and they put something in place, education system-wise, because kids do spend a majority of their time in schools, and there does need to be some kind of counselling or something put in place. And not just, I'm sorry, I'm not handing my homework. My friends, I'm like, do you get what I mean? Like, we can't just carry on with the school year as though we weren't all counting and studying together for our GCSEs, and stuff like that stays with them. Because I hear many adults speak about friends that passed away when they were young. It doesn't leave you, that kind of loss. Do you get what I mean? So that is a very important message.
It's very deep, and as I was saying earlier as well, the cycle of hurt people. That's a mad cycle to try and break, but a very important one.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if we can. I don't know if we can break it, because there's always going to be hurt and pain, but again, it's about solutions. Like you said, and I think that with the charities we're working with, they will advocate for better investment into counselling, for example.
Yeah.
Which has helped a lot of people. So it's not going to be the magic pill. There is no magic pill.
Yeah.
There's no golden solution. But whatever we can do, you know.
And the more we talk about it, I feel like the more there will be that space for more solutions and more ideas to come to the table.
Yeah.
So.
And life, the value of life is another important one for me with this. Life is incredibly valuable, but sometimes it's not valued. And it's almost, in some cases, life is becoming cheap. And anyone that has kids knows the value of life. Do you know what I mean? Not even just if you have kids, but once you see a child being born, it definitely
It's different.
changes your perspectives. So there's a lot of ambition for it. But as I say, if one person watches it and it stops them from doing something that keeps them alive, we've won.
Love that.
For real.
And when is it out for the public to take in or to watch?
Yeah, so it's October 19th
Sick.
on NYM. And at the same time, we're having the world premiere at Covent Garden Odeon
Nice.
at 7 p.m. on October 19th. So while we're watching it together, the world can watch it with us. And then
Nice.
when we come out from the screening, then the conversations and everything we can share with the people that
Exactly.
were in the film, that made the film, that came to see the film.
Lovely. Love that. Thank you. Well, you know what I'm going to ask you next. So we would like you to tell us something that nobody knows about you and also your biggest life lesson.
I think the thing that no one knows is I covered earlier in terms of how many black role models I've had in my life and the impact that they've had, the positive impact that they've had on my life, and what I've learned about the importance of family and so many other things. So that's that one. It's live anyway, right? So I don't know if we can come to that moment. And then the biggest lesson, there's been a lot, right? We usually it comes from mistakes or something painful.
Yeah.
And that's why at Fully Focused, we always encourage mistakes because that's
Nice.
where the best learning comes. But I would say one of them was when I started the Clash of the Tight Ones journey, the camera and all the footage got stolen.
Oh.
And so I took a moment to think, okay, what does this mean? I don't think it means that I should give up because I don't give up. It will only fuel me to do more. So thanks for whoever took it. But what does it mean if I'm going again? And what I realized was the first version was hype. There was no substance to it. So when I started thinking about what the second version would be, I realized I have a responsibility for what I put out into the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Especially because film is something that can be looked up. Just the point I made about right from wrong is being used in the curriculum. We didn't even know about that. I don't think anyone needed to come and ask us because it's in the public domain. But it just shows that was 12 years ago and now it's being used in the curriculum. Like we've made a change there, right there, because it's doing something. So in 50 years' time, someone can look up your work. In 100 years' time, someone can look up your work. So based on that, what do I want to put out into the atmosphere and what do I want to achieve with it? And that has shaped everything I've done ever since. And when I went back and I made it again, it was with that
Mindset.
intention, and that mindset of the art and the heart of what we do and how to convey that and how to convey it ultimately. So then that's been a massive life lesson.
I love that. You're such a glass half full type of guy. You've got very, very calming energy. I really like it.
Thank you.
But I was going to ask if there are any young people watching.
When I'm not with my kids, you should see me with my kids.
Oh, no,
mate.
it's
So,
fine.
you know.
Everyone with their kids is a different ballgame. I was going to ask if any young people or anyone watching has got young, nieces, nephews or whatever, and they want to help them get in the media. How do they apply for, the internships or the programs and stuff you've got going on?
Yeah, so in terms of getting involved in Fully Focused, probably the easiest thing to do is just start to engage with the socials because we put a lot of opportunities on there, masterclasses,
Nice.
a lot of different castings, events.
Sick.
We have so many great events. Like we have a regular one at the Roundhouse where you get a panel of amazing speakers that come in. We just had a panel of director Moali and art director, editor of Hijack.
Nice.
And so you get to really meet the people that are doing incredible work. And there's a lot of inspiration. A lot of what we do is inspiration based. And I believe that inspiration is so important, but I also believe that sometimes we have to do the harder stuff to cut through, because I think we need both ultimately.
Yeah.
We need both. So yeah, getting to the events, getting to know us. As you can imagine, we have a long waiting list of people to join the actual program. But by coming and getting to know us and by showing your face,
This is it. We become more familiar.
that's how you start to get opportunities, and by all the wider events and stuff and things that we offer.
That's sick.
That's the best way. And then to just get started is, if you want to get started, just
Start.
with your phone and just, shoot your friends with your phone.
Yeah. Love that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for
Just
joining
quickly,
us.
just lastly, say the majority of the young actors, the young generation coming up, black kids and people of colour, and would you have worked with most of them, all the UK ones?
There's a lot of people I've worked with, over the years. Black, brown, working class. Yeah, loads of people.
Because obviously going through the site, I see a lot of familiar faces.
Bloody hell.
See a lot of familiar faces.
I've gone into much bigger things.
Yeah.
I feel like the Brit School of Film.
Yeah, I mean,
Basically.
we've been here for a while, and it's just normal for us.
Talking
It's
to
what we
legacy,
do.
right here.
Honestly.
Heritage.
It's lit, man.
Well done for that, man.
Yeah.
100%.
Thank
Keep up
you.
the good work, man. Definitely.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I really
Yeah,
appreciate
thank you for
it.
joining
No
us. We
problem.
really
Thanks for coming.
appreciate
And
it.
I don't really do these things that often.
I love that.
It's nice to
It's
be
special.
here.
Yeah, but now you're stuck. with
Not
it.
even that.
Is it as well?
Because I don't want to. I'll always be happy to do them, but I just think most people just don't know who I am still, and that's fine. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's not really what I do.
Oh, the
what I
mic,
do.
sorry.
Yeah, I don't know why you're
Oh,
addressing yourself.
oh,
I was trying to say.
It was home time. Sorry.
Obviously, you're going to be directing quite a few more in the future. Each time it is that you need to push another one, please come through.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You're now going to be a resident.
Oh,
understand?
thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that a lot.
But yeah, but congratulations on everything. Congratulations on PTSD. That is out on the 19th of October. Is there what time will it be out? 7 p.m. isn't
7
it?
p.m.
Yeah.
MYM.
Lovely. Check it out, guys. And thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Let's get into our last
appreciate it.
headlines for today. I rated things that way.
So what, is that outro?
I'm a hugger though. Hold on.
You just pressed outro.
Did I?
Thank
I
you,
saw
guys.
it say outro, I promise
Sorry.
you.
Hopefully see you next week for the premiere.
Still be
Oh, you're
away.
filming. Oh, you're away, innit? Yeah. If you get your team to make sure they send that through, not like the screening.
They have.
Oh, okay.
100%. I just need one more.
Do we have enough
for you.
invites? Are you alright? Yeah. See, Teddy, that can't run. Teddy, that you need to speak to the right people. If I'm not there, Esther.
Esther, can you send
100%.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
Good to meet you.
I would have had to roast you next time you come round here. Lovely. Okay.
All right, brother.
Yes, bro.
Keep good, keep good.
Thank you, man.
Thanks for setting me up. Oh, you gonna read it? Oh, what a man.
What a man.
Do you need to go there? Okay, go. Are you sure?
I've got it. Cool. You're welcome.
One thing I will say about TJ though.
Listen,
One thing I will say about TJ.
Wait, put it
though,
down, Marks, quickly.
we've always got good guests, you know.
we do.
Like constantly. Because I'll be honest with you, and you could probably tell by my reaction some of the time. A lot of the time when you call people in there, I'll be learning about them in real time.
Yeah,
I ain't got a clue who these people are. You know what I'm trying to say? And they sit down on the chair next to me and they start speaking. And by the time they leave, I'm always impressed.
Always, man.
Always.
Always.
Like, you got like 100% success rate on me still. Like,
Big up
always.
producer E-Man, man.
Yeah.
Big up E-Man.
I'm
Man
yet to
doing
walk
the
out of there and be like, why the hell you bring this person here for? You know what I'm trying to say?
And it could never
Hey,
happen.
man, keep up the good work, man. Just keep doing what you do, man. You're making me proud.
Thank
It's
you.
not
But
just me, it's all of us.
on this one too, a shout out to, is it Anushka?
Yes, big up
Yeah,
Anushka,
yeah,
man.
Anushka.
she's
She reached
obviously
out to
listening,
us. She
right?
reached out to us.
She's obviously listening. She's obviously seen the quality that we've had, and she was like, "This will be perfect." And obviously, Puss was supposed to be here as well.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah,
understand? But
yeah.
again, unfortunate circumstances, he couldn't make it.
Yeah.
But again, it's good cause. You understand?
Yeah,
so
100%.
it was a great surprise that
Yeah.
this guy is a heritage, his legacy.
Yeah.
Literally, like,
You
no.
understand?
100%,
I'm looking
man.
at the site and you're seeing so many faces,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Nah, it's good, man.
Nah.
Big up Teddy, man.
Big up Teddy, man. That's proper sick. I like his energy. He's so calming.
Big up the chat as well, man. You're
No.
killing me.
Yeah. I enjoyed it.
I couldn't believe it.
After
You
that, I
see, you're
enjoyed it.
I saw it one time.
I gotta go.
Like I just had a glimpse. Sorry, man. And I said, yeah, I'm saying out of this. I didn't. I just left it. I said, I'm not doing this today. Not today.
I enjoyed it.
Yo, will not distract me when I'm learning about great work being done. I said, the heck?
They was like on a whole Black
I
History
said,
Month.
bro. People don't know how to act sometimes.
Has the thing you been?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So our first headline, right? Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the scion of the Kennedy political family, who has spent the last 6 months running for the 2024 Democratic presidential nomination, announced on Monday that he would continue his long-shot pursuit of the White House as an independent. This is so the 69-year-old conspiracy theorist and vaccination opponent gave a fiery speech from Philadelphia declaring his independence from the Democratic Party and all other parties, and telling a gathering of several hundred supporters of his plan at leaving the party of his uncle and father, JFK, and Robert F. Kennedy. So this is what he said there. He said, "I'm here to declare myself an independent candidate for the President of the United States. I'm here to join you in making a new declaration of independence for our entire nation." He also was this article was kind of describing it as a rambling speech, right? They basically just sending shots at him. But in that speech, he was taking aim at Wall Street, big pharma, military contractors, the mercenary media, these are his words, and the two-party establishment that he said was leading us all over a cliff. So he also said there's a rising tide of discontent is swamping our country. There's a danger in this discontent, but there's also opportunity and promise. So yeah, man, we'll see if he does well. And the last headline, Yvette Cooper will set up a £100 million Tough Love youth program to help tackle a knife crime epidemic and a mental health crisis among UK teenagers if Labour is elected. So Labour putting out a lot of positive stuff there. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully they can carry it out. But anyway, on Tuesday, the Shadow Home Secretary will tell the Labour Party conference in Liverpool that the Young Futures programme will target 92 communities under a Keir Starmer-led government that are blighted by youth crime and violence. Each community will be offered a Youth Futures Hub, which is a type of sure start centre for teenagers to bring together mental health specialists, youth workers and neighbourhood police officers to prevent young people from being drawn into violence. This is quite apt from what we were just talking about. On the eve of her speech, which is, by the way, happening today, right? Cooper, speaking to The Guardian, said that Labour wanted to address some of the underlying causes behind recent stabbings and referred to the death of the 15-year-old Eliane Andam in Croydon. She said, "We have had a 70% increase in knife crime over the past 8 years, and this is just devastating for families. 70%. We recently saw the terrible situation in Croydon when a 15-year-old girl was killed on her way to school. A record number of children and young people are seeking mental health support from the NHS." This is what she's going to argue in her speech. An analysis from the think tank Crest suggests that more than 200,000 children are vulnerable to serious violence. Recent police recorded crime figures published by the ONS showed a 21% increase in the number of crime and offensive weapons offences recorded from 37,706 in the year ending September 2021 up to 45,639 in the year ending September 2022. If they've got a solution, man, I'm all for it. So yeah, but that's it for the headlines. It's time to pay the bills.
All right, let's get into the reaction.
All right, welcome to the reaction, people. Just got a few headlines for you to read briefly, and we'll be out of there. So, Bukayo Saka has been ruled out of England through injury, which we
no,
know.
my babes.
He's hurt, man.
What happened to him?
Well, I'm going to tell you now.
Thank you very much.
It says Saka has been ruled out of England's doubleheader with Australia and Italy after being assessed by medical staff at St George's Park. The 22-year-old reported for international duty despite missing Arsenal's 1-0 win over Man City on Sunday, but after being evaluated by the England medical staff was released back to his club to continue his rehabilitation. Gareth Southgate is not expected to call up a replacement to his 25-man squad. He had defended Saka's inclusion when the squad was announced last Thursday, saying, "There's another 7 days before we play Australia and 10 days before we play Italy." Waste of a spot, but whatever. Our second headline, it says, Birmingham City approached Wayne Rooney after John Eustace sacked by the club. Formal talks have begun between Birmingham and Wayne Rooney over the vacant manager's job at St Andrews, with both sides hopeful of the deal being struck. Rooney mutually agreed to terminate his DC United contract over the weekend after they failed to make the MLS playoffs. He remains in Washington, but formal talks with Birmingham have begun only hours after they sacked John Eustace as head coach, with the club's 6th in the championship. Eustace oversaw 21 wins in his 63 games in 15 months. Yikes. Tough, innit? The last of which came on Friday night in a 3-1 victory over West Brom in the West Midlands. Oh, he won and they still got him out of there. Yeah, that's because Rooney was ready to go in it. And our last headline for our sports reaction says, this is reacting to Gary Neville. He said, Manchester United will not make Premier League top 5 this season. Manchester United will not make the top 5 in the Premier League this season, says Gary Neville, although he's praised Scott McTominay after the match-winning goal. 2 late goals in the 93rd and 97th minute from the Scotland international saw Man United to a 2-1 victory against Brentford on Saturday, the 4th Premier League success of the season. But despite the win, Sky Sports pundit Neville says United will finish no higher than 6th and believes Chelsea are closer to securing a top 5 spot. I don't think Man United will finish in the top 5 this season, but they proved me wrong last season after having a very poor start, he said on the latest Gary Neville podcast. Chelsea have got a lot of talented young players. The question marks will be centre forward and experience if something happens to Thiago Silva. Chelsea are not far away if they get a centre forward and centre half. Even though they spent $1 billion, they still need 2 players, which is mad. To spend $1 billion in a window and talk about they still need 2 players. Recruitment, somebody's got to answer for that. But the money ain't been spent well, man. I think they still need a goalie as well.
Yeah?
Yeah, man. Sanchez ain't the answer, man. Just had to spend $1 billion and Sanchez is your goalkeeper. I don't know. But they've actually tightened it up over there. Even though the results ain't gone their way, they ain't conceded a lot of goals, innit? Yeah. And there is a lot of young talent, so, we'll see what the future holds, man. And that's the end of our headlines, man. And this is all regurgitated stuff, which has been done already. So let's get into our outro. Whoa.
What?
What's the likes on, Brent?
143.
I'm disgusted.
You are taking a piss, man.
They were out here doing fight, no justice, no peace, and this is what, and they couldn't like the video.
You know, this is what I'm trying to say, man. We've been through too much, like racism.
We've been through too much.
This is usually just, I don't know if you're protesting. This is usually basically showing racism, man. Come on, man. This is in the racist platform, man. Like the video.
Support black business today and like the TDA videos.
Please like the video. No place for racism.
No around here. No around these streets. No around these parts. But this has been a great show, though, nonetheless. Pick up our lovely guest, Teddy, and make sure you check out PTSD, out on the 19th of October, 7 p.m. on the MYM page. So that should be lit. Also, big up you guys as well in the comments, in the chat, liking the video. Extra big up for you if you're liking the video, you're not which. Also, big up, as always, our researchers as well. We appreciate you. Follow us on our social media platforms, The Day After TNB on Instagram, Twitter, and on TikTok. And if you'd like to send your dilemmas, the number is 075 64841073. If you'd like to inquire about the show or feature on the show, our email address is thedayafter@thenewblack.com. Have a great Tuesday and see you tomorrow.
And for the people who have started leaving messages on Spotify, we will start reading them out ASAP.
Yes, we will.
Keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on, honey.
All right, thanks, peeps.
Bye.
Later.